Do, 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 do.
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
I'm scared.
The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
I know what to sing. So, my views are always right. I'm never wrong. I have a source. And I gotta tell you, it's over. It's over, man. It's just all over. Honestly, I got my source. Don't believe me? Honestly. Bob Berditzman in the county. That's who told me. You don't know who Bob Berditzman is? Bob's out there, man. He's real. He's my source. It's over. All over.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome all to this Sunday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, along with Cashmoney007 Baron Orman Tagge, and our special guest for this afternoon or evening or morning, depending on where you're at, Anna. I am your host, Mike, and this morning or afternoon or evening, yes, I'm going to keep saying it that way, we are going to be talking about Anna, and we are going to find out what she likes as far as music, movies, games, TV shows, you name it. We're going to ask her. So, Anna, thank you very much for joining us for this edition of Pop Talk, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for everyone in chat who's slowly showing up or maybe lurking. I'm really excited. Let's do this.
Woo! I like
Don't
that.
interrogate me too much, though. I might get nervous and run off or something.
Where's my interrogation light? So, how do you like my dramatic opening? Do you think that was good, Mike?
You looking for praise again, Baron?
Yeah.
I think it needs some work, Baron. I think it needs some work.
I actually did? Like, I had our stream on YouTube open at the same time as StreamYard, and I didn't realize, and it was playing the music, so it was echoing, and I thought, dude, that's really cool, like when he's talking, and it's actually like repeating itself, and then I was like, wait, no.
Yeah,
probably have
exactly. No, that's right.
But we do end up repeating ourselves quite a bit here. So
you do, Baron. You do. Yes.
Oh, you do too.
Never.
How many times you say these people? I'll watch it.
Never, Baron.
You have a guest here. Be nice.
Yes.
No, please don't be nice. No. Be mean.
Trust me, Cash isn't nice, but you already know that.
Nice,
I do know.
I hang out with Jace a lot, so I can't be that nice.
Yeah, you can't be nice around Jace. Jace doesn't like anything, so
Yeah. But before we get into this conversation, I do want to say hello to T-Gab Steve, who does have the latest edition of Beverly Hills 414 ready for us in the chat.
Mike, you said it wrong. It's Big Daddy T-Gab Steve.
I'm always doing that lately, aren't I, Baron?
Yeah.
We also have Jason Fox of 540 Studios. Good to see you, Jason.
Can I just quickly say something? And this has happened on multiple streams. Jace, please stop putting an exclamation mark after my name. Because people who can't really see well think it's a letter and not an exclamation mark, and it looks weird.
Dang it, Jace.
Hey, in the corner with you now.
Dang it, Jace.
That's it.
Come on, bro.
We've had enough of your shenanigans, man. Enough of that.
I also want to say hello to everybody's favorite penguin besides Punk Waddle, Low Spec Linux Laptop.
2 penguins enter. 1 penguin leaves. Penguin Dome.
And, of course, our special guest for this edition of Pop Talk, Anna's Gameland. And let me check and see if there's anyone else new in the chat so I don't miss anybody. And as a matter of fact, we have Jack That Lost. Let me try that again. Jack That Lad. I can't speak right now.
Come on.
Jack Carlad.
There you go.
Thank you, Bear.
You're welcome. I think everybody's having problems, including me. So
he's a fellow Brit. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, pip pip tally ho. Yeah.
Well, remember, if Mike gets out of hand, Baron, you know you got that flag ready.
You know how it is sometimes. You're on a live stream, you know what you need to say because it's in your mind, but when you try to say it out loud, it's like, come on. But
last night's after shows, that's what did it to us. We burned all our brain cells on
that. Speaking of shows, let's go ahead and get into this latest episode of Beverly Hills 414 from Big Daddy T-Gap.
And before we start, I just got to say, Anna, I'm sorry. I'm so very, very sorry.
Yeah. I want to apologize in advance for the story that we're all about to experience right now.
We are sorry.
Cash, would you like to read the story this time?
Go ahead.
You know what he's going to do now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, I know.
I sometimes trust you, Mike, so that's fine.
Sometimes. You hear that, everybody? He sometimes trusts me.
Well, I'm going to trust that this is going to
be... He has a very, relaxing, peaceful voice that might put everybody to sleep.
Yes, sure.
Relax.
Mike, let me do it. I'll do it in the voice like we were talking about last night.
Oh, boy.
Go ahead.
Just a second.
Everybody, I hope you have your pillows.
Here we are on Pacific 414. Our basically it's our public service station here, and I'm going to be reading the latest story from Big Daddy T-Gap Steve. So previously on Beverly Hills 414. Mike would be lying if he claimed he hadn't been hogtied before, from pirates in Madagascar, natives in the Brazilian rainforest, to that brunette in school who had a Brazilian. Had he not seen Baron and those other men tied up and suspended, he might wonder just why they had so much rope on hand. May even have made some joke about it. So, I get to tie you two up next, right? He quipped, as they carried him back towards the main hall. He noticed that despite being fit, they did have to stop regularly to rest a bit. Strong, but not so much in the endurance department. He thought, adding with that information to his knowledge base to formulate a plan. Though even with a plan, would he have a chance to enact it? Crypto and Mike.
I'm sorry.
I'm
so sorry to interrupt. That music does not fit the narrative.
We try to make sure we have the proper NPR feel here. And as you can tell, we are going to be getting more dramatic as we go along. Crypto and Mike, M.I.M., had been tied together and dumped unceremoniously in a broom closet. You just had to turn around and take the crazy woman on, Crypto said. Mexican Iron Man, with his amazing rack and mustache, and Crypto could have made a daring escape, smash through the Arboretum window and be halfway to Mexico by now. But no, one of the crazy women had said something about Mike, M.I.M., outfit looking dainty, and he had jumped out of the truck to slap her like a punta. Those were, by the way, to our listeners, his words. So you can send all letters to Mexican Iron Man, in care of Mexican Iron Man. To be fair, he had slapped the hell out of her. But we do not endorse violence like this, just to let you know. But the other group of 7 women had dogpiled on him. That part we do encourage constantly, so please do. And had pulled Crypto out of the truck before he could take the wheel to drive away. Lock the bald-chinned one up in the closet with this one. That mustache might mess things up further. One of them had said, and thus there they sat, smelling the musty scent of broom closet, which is coming out from Chanel. So please go to your local department store and ask for broom closet by Chanel. I imagine this is when you tell me something about how you're used to sitting in the closet for an hour or two till her husband leaves, right? Crypto asked as he pulled against the ropes. Hell no. And we are sorry for the profanity. Our apologies. I got places to be, ladies, to do it. I can't hide in the closet. That's right. He is afraid to come out of the closet, and he's not very afraid to come out of the closet. That's why he is who he is. That's why I head right out the window. I leave hiding in the closet to penjetos like you. And again, we apologize for that.
Pendejos.
Thank you so much.
Pendejos.
Well, because we don't use such language here on this channel, I have a hard time. Again, we apologize to our viewing audience on this. Mike, M-I-M, laughed at that.
I call bullshit.
Again, we apologize for that to our audience. Oh, haha. So funny. I might have laughed, Crypto said in his unamused tone that made him sound like he was about to evolve into a full emo kid. We do embrace the emo community, by the way. We are your allies, just to let you know. Face, we are talking to you. So what do we do now, old great rescue man? Mike, M-I-M, paused that and kind of looked about, thinking. Perhaps his massive intellect towards the issue of their escape, and then he shrugged. I dunno. Play truth or dare? Ingrid and Astrid managed to hide themselves about the same time that Mike was unceremoniously dragged back into the main hall, and Katya entered holding the comb aloft. Baron, for his part, had paint all over his hands from his hasty modification to the ritual circle, and was sitting to the side, hoping that they might not notice he was sitting and not upside down. Now we shall sacrifice the beards, and forever own the rights to women being beautiful, my sisters, Katya proclaimed, and headed towards the middle of the circle to place the comb there. At the same time, she noticed Baron wasn't hanging upside down. Was the time she felt the entire world seemed to be feeling purple, tasting like sparkles. Something was quite off. That the Fook, she had time to stay, and we do apologize again to the Scandinavian community for such ethnic crudeness there. We need to have more sensitivity.
Keep reading the story, Baron.
She had time to say before the entire chamber burst with a brilliant light. Baron closed his eyes and grinned. No, just your der Fucht, he said. It was nice enough day. Baron was glad he asked Ingrid and Astrid to come out to play putt-putt golf with himself and Mike and Crypto. His score was crap, and I apologize again, but it was the company that mattered. Does the story have a freaking end? Mike, it's your goal. If you get under par on this hole, Baron says he'll do a handstand. Crypto called over, laughing at the potential for amusement that predicament had. The course was new and not broken yet. They were probably some of the first to play on it, and the game made for a nice diversion from all manners of other things. Watching from his place on the roof, Matrix looked down and lit another smoke. Harumph! Didn't think the actual goddess would come back to get her hair accessory. Dot smirked. You didn't think the guy had it in him to call her up? Matrix shook his head. I thought he'd probably mess up their ritual and drop them all into the abyss or something. They looked over to the collection of dancing statues in the middle of the garden, where 13 statues of eternal beauty, beautiful dancing women, stood in a circle. Now I'm getting the case of the mics. My apologies. Why do you think he asked her favor to push up the putt-putt course so they could play? He could have asked for nearly anything, Dot answered as she took the smoke from Matrix's hand. He probably knew she'd have to make them forget, and he wanted to have some good memories to replace them with. They do seem to be happy. Wait, what happened to the other guy? T-Cap, honestly, where the hell is it going?
Seriously.
I don't know. Maybe the goddess took him with her. I mean, his truck is still there. Here.
I don't know. First season looks better than second season so far.
That's kind of how it seems to go to it. Will Crypto remember that his bank accounts were being nickeled and dimed to death? When will Baron find out his car is still stolen by Sally? Can Mike make this hole under par and force Baron to do a deadly handstand? Where is Mexican Iron Man? And is he about to find out what happened if you anger Thor and try to jump out a window in Valhalla? Stay tuned as Beverly Hills 414 returns after these very important sponsor messages, because this is public. This is not a corporate. We do require donations to stay alive. So please give donations and keep us on the air. Back to you, Mike.
That was very good.
Thank you, Baron. And I'm just gonna say we need to talk about whether or not that's done again. Maybe next time we do it, maybe Cash should be the one who reads it. See his version.
Yes, for sure.
Of course, being the horrible capitalist that he is, he should be the one that comes forward and do these stories. Because NPR, of course, we're known for our one side only viewpoints. One thing considered, my show, of course, that we should probably have someone of the barbaric nature of Cash Monet do the next story. Back to you,
And
Mike.
here's my response to that, Baron.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Actually, we got a bet
that has a point. I liked him reading that. I'm sorry, Cash. You have a lovely voice, but every time you talk, I kind of like zone out. I'm sorry.
Not that I like trying to put people.
I know Anna's joking. It's like things that Jay says, and it's like, where's my tomatoes? No, I'm kidding. But
well, we were joking the other night that we'd do an entire broadcast that way and see if we can keep it up. So
I already admitted to you guys
today.
I wouldn't be able to keep a straight face. I wouldn't be able to get through it without laughing. And
yeah, how did I do? Huh? I did pretty good, didn't I?
Yeah.
I agree.
Those Fran Drescher acting classes worked out.
yeah.
So Anna, when it comes to your likes of pop culture, entertainment, movies, television show, and games, what do those mediums have to have in order to get your attention?
Lately, quite a bit. The list is like growing bigger and bigger. Back in the day, didn't have a list. If it was good, it was good. Now it's like I'm doing the opposite. I need to have my films to tick certain boxes for myself, or games, or music, or whatever. But when you were growing up, you didn't think that way. Like, also depends on, obviously, your background, people you grew up with your parents were listening, your friends were listening to, the culture of the society, or the time. Now it's like you formed your style, your taste in every form of entertainment, and everything that you used to like is being ruined. So everything that does come out, you kind of have to like, okay, well, let me think. Is this going to have DEI stuff in it? Is this going to have like, and you're like, no, I'm not watching it then. I'm done with it. So it's really changed. How about you guys? Are you the same, or is it? I know you were talking about.
I gravitate. Well, I gravitate more towards the older stuff because, again, I find the new stuff not. Even the quality of writing, people don't seem to have that. I mean, they're still, in the form of pulp culture, especially, and what we call the fandom area. Peter David's still a good author. He knows what he's writing about, no matter what he goes into, whatever universe it is. But that's far and few between now, because too many people are inserting themselves into what they're writing, and that's not what I want. I mean, yeah, there's a difference between taking characteristics.
Sorry to interrupt you. It could be done, and I mean, every writer, if you're talking about writers or even cinematographers, everybody will insert a part of themselves, take from previous people they have learned from. And or like, for instance, for me, like Edgar Poe used to insert himself into every single thing that he wrote, every poem, every novel. But it was done in such a very delicate way, and he had that fine line where you don't really. And obviously, one of the reasons is because back then, for instance, social media was not that prevalent, so you didn't have all these actors and writers and creators and developers coming out and saying, "Oh my God, these are my opinions. This is what my life is like." So people didn't really know, and it's different. But yeah, I agree with you.
But yeah, and a lot of readership, I think, was far more intelligent because it didn't take much to figure out that Lewis Carroll was skewering Victoria with Alice in Wonderland. I mean, there's no doubt that was commentary, but he had to do it that way to keep him from losing his head, as to quote the phrase from the Queen. There was ways that people could interject viewpoints, their opinions. And bits of themselves, because obviously you always write about something you know yourself the most, and there's always a little insertion, but it's not putting a carbon copy of you in there, which I don't think a lot of people are able to do today. They have to hit you over the head, you might say, with the hammer, instead of trying to give you an argument to think about, or not necessarily even an argument.
Or the golf club, the golf club.
They don't. Yes, got to get rid of those bastards on my lawn. No, I'm kidding. But they don't. There's only a few new shows. Like there was a show called Animal Control that actually upset PETA. I'm like, well, right there, that's a start. But Joel McHale it's actually pretty well written, but there's not much. I mean, I'm even watching the new True Detective. And there's got to be.
Oh my God! Don't get me started, Josh.
The only thing that I so far like on this show, but it's still early, is Jodie Foster's character. I find her character very interesting. She's a bitch. Then she's like dealing with other stuff, but then like her daughter has to be, for whatever reason, she basically has to be a lesbian, and it just feels like it doesn't matter if it's a straight couple or a gay couple or whatever. There has to be something has to be forced in there just because. And that's what I wish. Like True Detective, the first season was never like that.
And I actually like tweeted something about this today because I myself have not seen all of the 6 episodes. I've only seen the 3rd. The 4th one is coming out for you guys later tonight, for me on Monday. And I really like shows like Fortitude and shows set in very isolated environments with detectives and snow, and it's dark, a place like Alaska where you're trying to figure things out. So Fortitude was a lot like that, and it was a really good show. And so I started watching it, and then I just started noticing again, like if you make a list or if you go into some sort of like AI program and you input all of these different shows that have these elements, and then you put in True Detective season 1, and then an AI comes up with it, and the writer who is she cannot write, the lady, I believe she's Mexican or whatever she's from, but the original show creator actually spoke out on Twitter a couple of days ago saying he hates season 4. Has nothing to do with them. They replaced him. I mean, season 2 was okay. Season 3 wasn't great. But for season 4, they completely replaced him with this DEI hire. And she cannot write. And it feels like it's just ticking boxes. Okay, what films do we know set in when it's nighttime? What place in the world is always dark for like 6 months? Okay, Alaska. Okay, let's go to Alaska. What film has some mysterious stuff going on where you can't trust anybody? Oh, The Thing by John Carpenter with Kurt Russell. Okay, let's go in that direction. What has detective? And it just keeps going, and it just feels fake. It feels forced. And then on top of that, you add really unlikable main characters. Jodie Foster's character, I don't know, Cash, you said that I don't like her at all. I think no, I don't.
I just find her to be the most interesting character so far. I don't. The other characters, I'm also like, I don't understand why I'm supposed to care really. But she just seems to have more personality, and I don't know. There's just like weird relationships, and I also like, when is that guy going to get his SpongeBob toothbrush back? Come on, it's not cool.
Yeah. So one of the other things that's very noticeable here is the narrative of the main characters are women. They're usually very insufferable and bitchy towards men. And these men are always, for some reason, not the natives, men who are natives to the area where they filmed in this fictional town of Ennis in Alaska, are not the bad guys. It's the white guys that are always the bad guys. It's the white police officers. It's the white hunters. And all the women always do things towards the white dudes, which show that they're above them intellectually. They know better. They're physically more strong. And that just puts me off immediately. So that's why I don't like Jodie Foster. Every guy she talks to, she either has sex with, or she curses at, or tries to deceive. Like that poor guy, Peter, who's the son of the former chief, and he's like, what, in his like early 30s, has a kid at home, and she's constantly texting him and just, yeah. So no, I don't like it. I think it has nothing to do with True Detective. They should have, HBO should have just done a separate show.
You know, it's kind of funny because, you know, last night we're talking about Babylon 5, and the first episode of the 4th season has the 3 main protagonist ladies going out to do a search for the one main character. And it's like, these are, you know, if you want to see something that has strong women doing something, it's these ladies. They're not putting anybody down. They work well. They're, different, different species for some of them. But it's like, they want to sit back and say, well, we never had this before. But we had. But it wasn't the way that you're seeing it.
And let's not forget that when it comes to Delenn, when it comes to Lita, and when it comes to Ivanova, all 3 of those characters have growth throughout the series. They go through trials and tribulations of their own.
Right.
Sorry, Cash, like real quick, side note, like thinking about it, out of all of the characters, I think she is the most complex, even though she's annoying as hell. And sorry, I'm going to say as fuck. just to piss off Baron.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
And she's for the first time not just a Mary Sue character. She actually is insufferable, and she has reasons for that because she went through trauma. So I kind of get where you're coming from, but I still don't like her character.
By the way, Jace, you like Batman versus Superman. That movie put me asleep the first hour, so I don't want to hear about
come on,
taste.
don't start a fight now, Cat. Don't start a fight now. Wait until Jace is back on the shore. You're on his show.
I saw that
I'm
comment,
so
Jace.
tired of the whole like Suicide Squad game thing, and just
Same here. Same here. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of seeing it pop up in my feed. And
well, it's just,
I have zero interest in playing that game.
Yeah, I don't want to play that either. I just once again, it's like everything that came before it. It's just they take a wrecking ball to it. They just what happens? The cheap writing comes in, just like the Marvel shows. We got poop jokes. We got queef jokes. We got somebody's twerking. Isn't that funny? Ha 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 ha. No, it's cheap writing. Like I want something more like Winter Soldier. Give me something more balanced. Seriousness and then a bit goofiness, but more balance, not more goofiness and then less being serious. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
Winter Soldier was probably the last real good MCU movie.
I mean, I liked Endgame, but after that, it's just like they started falling off. Even the second Doctor Strange film was like, this is not nearly as good as the first one. The first one was very good.
Well, I think that's the other problem that we're having. We're having a problem where they don't know how to write humor inside a drama or an action. They think they have to start turning it around into a joke. They start taking what we joke about with Arnold, with his little quick quips and all that, and they start thinking, oh, that's what these are all about. No, the reason why they're quips is because he only uses it once and he goes off and go, I'll be back.
That's why, right. Or, it says, did you ever kill anyone? Yes, but they were all bad. Like things like that, like in True Lies, like it's just funny, but it's the timing and where it is in the story. But what they do, it just like with Lightyear and stuff, everything from Pixar, everything has just changed and it's just very cheap. But I would hope something, of course, Dune Part 2 will be coming out finally. And, that should be really good. But then somebody comes out and says, just like with Indiana Jones and other stuff, it's like, oh, it's for a modern audience, or this could be more about a feminist push, and you don't know yet until you see it. Yeah. But it's annoying to see those things. It's like, can they just stop saying this stuff? I've talked about this before. Just come out and say, we're going to do the best we possibly can, and we're hoping people enjoy it. Instead of coming out like wada titties or whatever you want to call them and being like, well, we need to have people are going to hate this. Like, are you saying that to be funny or are you saying that to be an idiot? It's just dumb.
Idiot.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting that you mentioned like Dune 2, because remember back in the day when like you going to the cinema or being excited with your friends, like whether you were a kid and your parents took you to see like Jurassic Park or whatever, or Predator. Well, my parents didn't take me to see Predator. That would be weird. But you would be excited to have that experience, or in your teens, like, oh my God, let's go to the cinema. Like, and now the only film in the last maybe 5 years that everybody's like, we need to book this. This is going to be an experience. We're all going to go in and watch it. And that was the last one too, with Dune 1, Part 1, that we did. So it becomes kind of like a cult following. Like, you have to do it together now. With all these other films, no, we don't get that sense of kind of, we need to be there, and it's different, and that's really weird. I mean, with Beetlejuice coming out, maybe because I love Beetlejuice, and I love
the first one was a lot of fun.
And possibly Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that might get people to come out to the theaters.
I heard.
I hope so.
It looks good. Still need to see Afterlife, but it looks good.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job with the trailer, and like we said, it doesn't look like Bill Murray's phoning it in.
Yeah, and like with the whole Batman thing too. Now they're in pre-production or even production, I don't know, for Batman with Rob Pattinson, and like
Mhm.
that doesn't, I don't know, it didn't appeal to me. It doesn't. I appreciate like the grungy thing because that's kind of the era I grew up in as a teen,
Mhm.
like in the
Mhm.
90s, early 90s, like
Yeah.
listened to grunge, played in a grunge band. But it's not me. I'd rather go back to Tim Burton's Michael Keaton. That
Yes,
is
I get.
my thing.
Well,
Like,
and this is the hill I will die on. I sit back and think of the '89 Batman as the ultimate superhero film because not only did he get, obviously there are tweaks and changes for the movie from the actual lore, but the thing is he got the one character absolutely right, and that character is Gotham City.
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he really made it look like you were in the comic book and the whole feel behind it. It was serious. It had silly moments, as the comic book movie should have, but in the right places, the right time, delivered correctly. But you felt like you were watching a comic.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It felt
Mhm.
like I can't imagine for somebody sitting in New York, for instance, because that's what Gotham is supposed to be based on, but like
Mhm.
and Christopher Nolan like took it
Mhm.
literally in his films.
Mhm.
Sitting there and just thinking, oh my god, like it just had that actual architectural gothic feel, but also
Mhm.
with the some of the scenes or some of the characters, they were so unreal, and that just like put me out of reality into an imaginary place where I could really, this isn't New York, this isn't
Mhm.
Manhattan, this is something completely different. When and Christopher Nolan is a brilliant director, just like Denis Villeneuve, who does
Mhm.
Dune, but he does have a tendency to go like really documentaries. Everything needs to be very based in reality. And
Mhm.
so when I watched Oppenheimer, I loved it. I thought
Yeah.
that was like that was another film that for me is just, I just
Yeah.
love his films.
It was. Yeah.
Mhm.
I enjoy his vision too. I
And
just
I like the sequel too. Godzilla -1.
Godzilla
The
minus
sequel.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sequel to Oppenheimer. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned Oppenheimer because I was going to ask you what you thought of the film. I thought it was very well done.
I thought it was very well done because again, I don't know how I would feel if I watched it on my PC screen or like
Mhm.
the screen behind me, my TV. But I think again, it's one of those films you need to experience in the cinema with like the cinema what used to be the experience everybody went
Mhm.
to, not just the popcorn and the snacks and everything, but the Dolby surround sound. And they
Mhm.
Mhm.
always like put out that this is Dolby surround sound. And then with Oppenheimer, just the sound design, the visuals, everything was like, okay, I'm going to be super weird. I'm going to compare it to, even though I've never done it, like being on drugs.
Mm.
You come out and you're all like, whoa, that was awesome. Like
Mhm.
sensory overload.
Right. I
Well,
mean, I was lucky enough, growing up, it was before the age of the Metroplexes. They were starting to come out with, 1, 2, 3, 4s. But, being able to go to a theater where you had that big, huge one screen and, like Star Trek the Motion Picture or Return of the Jedi. And it's like, wow, it really sucked you in because just the hugeness of it. And of course, there's sound system. And unfortunately, some of the theater, at least we got IMAX now to do that. Thank goodness.
Yeah. They had some weird thing I saw on Twitter with like 4D cinemas where
Mm-hmm.
people are again wearing these goggles, but for the smells and the heat, they actually had a ceiling of like fire flames going down so people could physically feel. It's weird. I don't know. I don't
Well,
like
I
that
don't know.
stuff. Like
But
everybody
since
else, like wearing these new Apple,
Mhm.
whatever they are.
Well, it reminds me of what was that guy's name? He did the films like The Tingler, so they put little shock devices in the chairs so people would jump at the appropriate times and such. I can't remember who that guy was, but yeah, it's like no, I don't want that. I I want to be able to enjoy the movie and feel the movie. But I don't, smelling and stuff. I don't want to smell that dump. I don't want to smell the garbage chute in Star Wars.
No, I don't want to either. Cash, you went, haha. You want to?
He always does.
No,
It's his evil ways.
No, it's everything. Like, even with the budget nowadays, is like they have to cut the budget, because as much as I like Dead Reckoning, Dead. No, it's Dead. Yeah,
Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Yeah. As much as I love that movie, Dead Reckoning. I just the budget was still too much, and what we're finding out, Indiana Jones, all this stuff, the budget was too much, and it's unfortunate. And
What was Godzilla -1? Was that 10 mil? It was just
something like that. That's all.
Yeah.
And some people say it might be even cheaper than that.
Right.
So it's like
yeah,
wow.
no, it just, but that's not even up for best foreign film at the Oscars. It's not even nominated for some stupid reason. I don't know why. But
I can have a list. I can tick it off on you. And I think you honestly know why.
Yeah, just because it's Godzilla. It's just like with this other stuff. It's procedural film shows, or procedural this, or even just same with, as we talked about, Lord of the Rings and so on. Things just don't get nominated. Even Ian McKellen probably should have won for Gandalf. I don't know. Did he win for Return of the King again? I don't think he did. I'll have to check.
No,
I don't think he did, though.
No, it was more like costume, cinematography, direction. It wasn't really the acting.
Yeah, they did win Best Picture that year, and it's like you said, Baron. It's like, I guess we should give it to him finally, or something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the third one, we snubbed them the first two films, and we kind of have to do it on this.
Yeah, and even though I like stuff like Black Panther, it's still like, did it need to be nominated for Best Film yet?
No.
The Dark Knight that year was not nominated. I mean, it's just, it's really crazy, all this stuff, but it makes me laugh how the film industry in general, besides people like Nolan, people have been around, Scorsese, been around for a while. Some of these new people, when they're doing their own stuff, Rian Johnson, whatever, it's like, okay, that's fine, man. But when you're taking on Star Wars, or with JJ taking on Star Trek, it's just it's just not memorable. These things are.
You're hurting her, Cash. You're hurting her.
But really, I mean, it's with everything. Like Anna said, that we've grown up with. They just seem to they're going to keep saying, we're going to make it better. Well, what are you going to actually do to make it better? When there's already a blueprint. It's really a mess.
The thing that really does scare me is when I talk to certain people, they seem to enjoy these things, and I try and explain to them why I believe they are not enjoyable to me, even though I respect if you enjoy something, that's fine.
Exactly.
But their answer is always like, you're either put into this box of being like a misogynist, or this person, or your political views, and you're part of. And no, I'm trying to have a conversation with you and express my opinion.
Yep.
These are the reasons why I like this movie. These are the reasons I don't like this movie. The first act, it was pretty good, but then when it gets to the second act, it starts falling apart because of reason A, B, C, or D.
Right, and I mean, it's just too easy to mock this stuff too, and people get mad. They call you names. It's like you look at a character like in the Prince of Persia game. It's like people are like, "Oh, this game is great. Oh, it's amazing." I'm like, okay, but this guy looks like a wannabe prince with dreadlocks. Oh, how can you say he has dreadlocks? Because he does. Like, it's just so funny, but like, that's just my personality. Like, I can't stop making fun of this stuff, because when things are actually great, then I'll tell them I'll say, wow, they really did a good job. But it's just like with the everything from the gaming journalists or the things that they write, or they want to change Link, or they want to change Zelda, or they want to change all these things that they don't,
Mhm.
it's never going to change most likely, but they'll get mad because in their mind, it's like, this is the way it has to be. And so it's always goes
Mhm.
back to me, that stupid fan fiction that they write in their heads, or they actually write on paper. And it's like, this
Mhm.
doesn't need to become a reality. And
No.
unfortunately, some of it has.
Oh,
Unfortunately.
and
Yeah.
one of the turnoffs that you and I had, Cash, was when we saw the artwork for the new Monkey Island game.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I can't get over that. And people are like, but the game is so fun. And like, it's just like, I always feel like it's the same thing. Same with Spider-Man, same with all this stuff.
Wait.
Yeah.
They're doing a new Monkey Island
They
game?
did a new Monkey
The
Island.
the
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And they
Mhm.
did it with blocks. It's looks more like Minecraft. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I can show you the art later if you want. Or you can
No,
look it
the
up.
thing is, like, I used to love Monkey Island, and the fact
Yes.
that I don't, like, I've completely cut myself off from stuff, like, that's something that, as a fan of Monkey Island, and I used to play it so
Mhm.
much, or same kind of, what was the other one? Broken Sword? Was it Broken?
Yeah, that's another
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
like, that's another one, like, and they tried to, and I met the actor who plays the main blonde hair dude. Um, and they I don't know, it's so weird. Like, I didn't even know this news because I've
Yeah.
blocked the stuff out that will upset me. Yeah,
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, I know I'm slowly coming back into what's going on, because for a lot of years I walked away because I didn't feel like was a place for me anymore.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so it's like, I'd watch stuff. It's like, this stuff's not entertaining. Why am I watching it? Why am I reading this? This isn't entertaining. I kind of withdrawn, and yeah, I had the old stuff, but I kind of divorced myself from everything. And I used to be involved with fandom quite a bit in the day. And it just, discovering the people here, and don't let Cash hear this, because I don't want to have his ego get too big on this, but
Uh,
meeting people here kind of helped out. And the one nice thing about it reminds me of those old when the fans would get together, because yeah, we were quote unquote like-minded, right? We all liked generally the same stuff, but there were sometimes things about things we didn't like, or an episode, or what a direction, and yeah, we could have a passionate discussion about it.
yes.
But it wasn't a quick, it started going into name calling, the the phobes. Oh, you're a commie, you're a lib, you're a neocon, you're whatever it is, all across the board. Unless of course it was good natured ribbing that some of us had back and forth with each other, which there was. But yeah, it's hard to. That's one thing I like about the little group we have here, is we don't necessarily agree on everything. We do not like everything,
No.
but we can discuss exactly what it is we don't like about it. And other people say, I can say, I don't care about that. I like this aspect. Okay, have fun, but don't expect me to join in on it. Enjoy
Yeah.
it. Have fun. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah, I just, yep. But people always say it doesn't matter what it is. They'll say, do you like anything? It's like, of course I do, but you're going to tell me that I'm supposed to enjoy Ahsoka when my brain doesn't work like yours, and I'm going to have to analyze this stuff. And I go, no, that doesn't make sense. No, that doesn't make sense. And even if you like it, that's great. It still does not make sense to me. And whatever you try to tell me, it just doesn't make sense. This goofiness nonsense going on, even I think Thrawn in Ahsoka ate Zeb, because it's like, why does he have a little belly? Like, where's Zeb? He's not there. He probably ate him, started eating Zeb. It's terrible. But
I
no,
never
really,
finished it. I could
it's
not
just, Crit and I watched it, and I even on like his program, his channel, it's like we went and just ripped it apart, and I got very passionate about it, because it's like, this is not, why do people think that this is a good direction for Star Wars? Like, it's with everything, Marvel, Star Wars, DC. And it's so, you don't have to be like, it's going to ruin your life. And I tell people, don't let this stuff ruin your life. But it's like, it could be 10,000 times better than it is. But I still believe it's like you get these writers in there and they're more worried about their agenda than really
Right.
putting down what these characters should be and developing them well. And when people sit there and say, oh, there wasn't strong women and there wasn't this back in the day, they all wore clad bikinis, this and that. They all had mini skirts. They were all damsels in distress, blah, blah, all this stupid crap. It's like, did you watch Xena? No, of course not. You know, did you do any research on this? No.
Did you watch DS9? I mean, you had Jadzia Dax and you had Kira Nerys.
That's right. Did you watch Next Generation? There were strong women in that too. I mean, it's just, did you go back and watch the original Star Trek at all? Any of it? There was some strong women in that too. I mean, you don't have to say, oh, well, this is the label we're giving: strong women, strong men. It's like you just knew that these characters were strong because of the things they did, the leadership qualities they had.
Also their skills.
Yes.
You don't get onto Star Trek Enterprise just because you look good. You have to have skills.
Exactly.
Just like Uhura, she is a communication specialist and she knows a whole bunch of different languages.
Right. Yep.
Right.
That's why
her job is very important.
That's why she went up the ranks. It's not because like she's, and oh God.
Exactly. She had to communicate with all the departments on board the Enterprise. She had to communicate with Starfleet and relay those instructions from Starfleet to Kirk.
Yep.
Are other ships if they're involved with other ships, and make sure that a Sparky, radio man, communications officer, whatever, is a very important job, and that's your lifeline. And they better know what they're doing. Sometimes they're the most qualified person on a ship.
Yep. It just doesn't matter what it is. Like even stuff that's not related to a game like Halo, it's still like, don't do some of these things, and they do it anyways. And then the actor comes out and says this stuff and starts attacking people. It's the same with Cowboy Bebop. It doesn't matter what it is. They they can't stop whatever
like
it is.
That. Yeah. We're supposed to appreciate this type of art. This is professional Marvel art.
Right.
Why did they give her a pig nose?
I don't know. I have no idea.
She looks like Miss Piggy in a Marvel outfit. And
I know.
I'm not trying to be mean, but this is what they're calling professional art.
No, that's not professional art.
It's not
at all.
No, it's not.
No, it's cheap.
It's like, whoever that artist is, goodbye. Oh, Hey, Keith, I need to talk to you some more, man. How you doing? He is a great guy.
And speaking of great folks, I do want to say hello to everyone who's jumped in recently. We have DJ Ronnie G here.
Turtles.
Yeah. Turtles. We like turtles.
Phil McCracken is here. Good to see you, Phil.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I like Phil.
The Pat Wannabe is here.
People like him. Well, we have Rose and Anna. Okay,
Real Wade.
One of my best friends. Thank you, Wade.
Good guy, too. Very good guy.
Yep, he is.
Anonymous. Anonymous. No, Anonymous, don't worry. We're not doing karaoke this Sunday. No.
But I sang for him.
Pop culture mechanic. I don't know who that is.
That's all right.
He's one of those Canadians up there. Oh, yeah. Don't you know? Good day, eh? Welcome to the Great White North. My name's Bob. This
Keith
is my
Movie Geek. Hello, Keith. Who are you?
Oh, Keith. He's with
Keith is a co-host of Pop Culture Minefield with Gary Cassell, who's a comic book artist, and they do wonderful live streams over there on Pop Culture Minefield.
That man is Keith is a walking encyclopedia.
Wait, you didn't say Anonymous.
Yeah, we did.
Anonymous.
Yeah, we said it.
Anonymous.
Yes. Other days we'll play his theme song. He loves it, though. Don't you, Anonymous? And remember, Anonymous, you need to always find those lesbians in Hogwarts Legacy, as you said. So.
Yeah.
Oh God.
He likes. You gotta be careful. He likes waving his wand around in public.
Oh, jeez.
Oh man, that's great.
We have a good relationship,
But-
people in the chat, and that's what I love.
Yeah, we do. But when it comes to especially movies and entertainment, now you don't really get characters that you can invest in on TV shows anymore, like you did back in the day. The original Star Trek and Kirk and crew, or Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. I know people will flame stuff at Enterprise saying it's not that great, but trust me, it has some great episodes. Carbon Creek is one of the great episodes of Enterprise.
For me, one of the things again, I'm so negative tonight. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just, it's the evening and I have a positive time during the day, and then evening is but my thoughts always go to, they're always trying to cut out William Shatner out of everything.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they're doing that, because he is the first captain. He's iconic. Gene Roddenberry, when he wrote the show, he wanted Chris Pike's actor. So Pike was supposed to be Kirk, and then Shatner smashed it. All of the characters just align into their little and they have chemistry. Everything works. So why all of a sudden is Shatner being shunned for what? His political opinions? Maybe,
which aren't so wild, really.
They're not so wild, but I think it's what's in their mind about his character of Captain Kirk.
Right.
Being a womanizer is how they view Captain Kirk.
Oh yeah, they
don't view him as the guy who was able to get stuff done. Say, I'll shoot first and ask questions later.
Which was a joke. That we had. I come in peace, shoot to kill, shoot to kill. I mean, again, they take the jokes and they think that's serious after a while, and that's not the case. They don't realize what a great character James T. Kirk was, and you can learn leadership off of watching Kirk.
Yeah,
because he was a man that took advice. He sought advice. He made sure he got the logic and he got the heart, and he could try to weigh a decision out of that. And others.
And then at the same time, he is a very flawed character because he manipulates people to get to the end of the goal. And still, it's done in a very understandable way why he's doing this. He's on a mission. He has a crew he needs to protect. He has people, it starts with 100 and whatever, and then it escalates to 260 crew members over a period of 7, 8, 9 episodes. But he is the captain, and he will do anything to protect his troops
and
the
ship.
Yep.
And that's why Roddenberry, who used to be a fighter pilot and fought in war too, that's where he was coming from. Again, going back to your point, Baron, where people can write certain characters based on their experiences, but do it in a very interesting, different way. And right now, I need to go and pee. Thank you, gentlemen.
Oh, no worries.
but getting back to Kirk, he says in The Wrath of Khan, he doesn't like to lose. And then in The Search for Spock, he says to Bones, "What have I done?" After they destroy the Enterprise, and Bones says, "What you had to do, what you always do, turn death into a fighting chance to live."
Right. Exactly, because that was the death of a character. He had to make one of the greatest sacrifices next to seeing Spock die, his ship.
He loved the Enterprise. That's why he fought so hard to get back on board the Enterprise after the 18-month refit.
She's a beautiful lady, and we love her. To quote a phrase, I believe it was from I Mud.
I mean, we've said it many times here on Pop Talk. The Enterprise itself is a character.
Yeah.
When you see it, you're happy to see it.
Oh yeah, it's like the Enterprise is a character. Babylon 5 is a character. DS9 is a character.
That's a
Gotham
good point.
City is a character.
True.
If you make these environs alive, and with obviously the people and the quirks that people have, the quirks of things that like electronics and mechanical stuff has, the quote unquote gremlins and such, you have yourself a character. It could be the smallest thing, the Millennium Falcon. That's a character. It doesn't matter. And when you see something happen to those, you feel something being ripped away from you. You really do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, seeing the Enterprise get blown up in Star Trek 3, I mean, I was, no. It was just hard.
And we've mentioned it other times too, where we feel they didn't have to destroy the Enterprise D. They just did it for the sake of blowing up a ship so they can have a new one come in the next movie.
But yeah, I mean, they're destroying Kirk because it's not fit into the modern day political correct woke agenda. He would not fit on Discovery. He wouldn't even fit on Strange New Worlds.
And why is that? Because what? He's a womanizer? Because he is a white male who is fit and can lead a team?
Yeah,
so
I think some view him as a colonizer because he's going out there with, like the ship captain's old. Because again, one of the figures that Kirk was based off was Hornblower, the character of Hornblower. Of course, we all know the British back then were the evil, horrible colonizers. So Kirk has to be one of those two. I mean, these people's logic is illogical.
Like even going back to video games, right? So if you take, for instance, something like Mass Effect by BioWare, and you can choose between female and male characters. Thank God they didn't introduce like CDPR did. You can be a chick with boobs and a dick at the same time. Sorry. But you were a colonizer coming from your own planet, especially in Andromeda. That game just started like when was it released, Baron? Was it like 2016?
I don't know about Mass Effect. Cat can probably know more than me.
Probably earlier than that.
2014 or something. But anyway, like you go as a white person. You can't play as an alien. You're always a white person going to colonize an alien civilization, and you're always going to be oppressing them and be bad. And that's when I started noticing this in video games. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. This is a little bit weird. Like, I don't there's some agenda behind this. But anyway, the game was not good at all, even though I enjoyed it because I love Mass Effect. And after such a long kind of like a series of years of not being able to be in that universe and seeing the Krogan and seeing the Asari, you see that again. But the story was very much based on some little agenda. Now it's like blatantly shoved in your face with everything that you're playing.
Yeah, it originally came out in 2007. That's when the first one came out.
The first one, but the Andromeda came out in 2017.
Oh, and
2017 for Andromeda.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I picked that up.
Seems longer than that.
$5. I've heard that you need to put a lot of mods in there because of the facial structures of characters, but some people liked Andromeda. There's still problems. Like the trilogy is great to an extent, but even there's some problems there too. It's like when they built the game up, the trilogy, they said all your choices are going to matter. Well, that's not exactly true at the end. And people like Casey Hudson at the time came out with PR and said all your choices are going to matter, and that wasn't true. It made people very angry. People have videos of where they were just sitting there cursing, and they said, "The fuck is this? This fucking ending, fuck this."
And where have we seen this before? When a big studio which is under the wing of another studio. So CDPR said that about Cyberpunk. All of your missions and choices, and there's different pathways you can take to different endings. Cyberpunk 2077, when it came out, linear story and the illusion of choices. Baldur's Gate by Larian did the complete opposite. And
Yeah.
that's why it won Game of the Year, and it's one of my favorite games, even though I haven't finished it.
Yeah, I just there's a few things in there, and I know we talked about in one of the groups we were in that just hold me back from getting that game. But I can't sit there and say there isn't a lot of gameplay in there.
Mhm.
There's just certain things that are, and I like Baldur's Gate in general, but Baldur's Gate 3, just a few things in there that just hold me back from ever buying that game. But there's a lot of
Why?
stuff in there.
Like what? Like roll the dice stuff, or
No, I don't mind that. No, it's just as we talked about before, you weren't even sure that it should have won Game of the Year. When we were talking, you're like, I don't know about that. I think you probably were maybe saying Alan Wake 2 maybe had a better chance of winning Game of the Year that year. I don't know. Did you play that one too, or?
Alan Wake 2?
Yes.
Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
And I think with Alan Wake 2, again, there's so much lore, but another company came in and changed the narrative during the development process.
Mm-hmm.
And that company, we all know what their name is. Can we say their name?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sweet
We name
Baby.
names.
Sweet
Fucking
Baby
A.
is responsible for adding their narratives to these games, making sure that these games fit what they
Yeah.
deem necessary for all these IPs and games. And
Mhm.
oh, if it doesn't have this checkbox, well, you guys better make sure you get it in there.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know, just the optional nonsense and that the three of us feel about Baldur's Gate 3, or as I like to always call Bear Gate 3, but still,
Yeah.
I have to admit that there is still a lot of content in there that
Oh, yeah.
people can find, and you can
Well,
skip the stuff, but
gosh,
yeah.
it's not even the kind of content, it's the level of commitment to the players in the audience, because they
Mhm.
took their time. They didn't release a game like just because, oh my god, it's 20% ready, we're going to release it and get people to pre-purchase it. They really did take their time to perfect it and to make it something that a lot of people can really feel like they're in their character. And you don't need to encounter any of the stuff that you're talking about. You can say, I don't want to do this. You have the option. It's not pushed at you. You don't have to do it. Like in The Last of Us, you have to do certain things.
I know. That's true.
Yeah, but the thing is, I guess for me, the fact that they even offer
exactly,
it, I agree with Cash. There's a game there, but the fact that you put in something that's illegal in so many places and promoting it, I just can't. I just can't bring myself to even think about buying it. And you take care of my man, and yeah, we'll definitely make sure we get you on here. I love that guy. I do love that guy.
Thank you very much for stopping by, Keith. Really appreciate it, brother.
And not in a weird way either. Not in a weird way. I'll leave that up to Gary to be the weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spec. I like half a year ago, I decided to replay Witcher 1 and Witcher 2. And now they're remaking Witcher 1.
Yeah,
there's
they're going to be looking through to see what's acceptable as far as in their eyes
Just
from
all
the
they need
original
to
game
do,
to bring over, and what's not acceptable again in their eyes.
just change the graphics if you want to update the graphics, because some of these remakes I'm okay with, but if they change stuff, they even changed stuff with Persona 3 Reloaded, and it's like, well, I'm glad this is on Game Pass, but they changed little things. Changed stuff with Persona 5 Royal too, one thing, and it still upset people. It's like, so don't change it at all. Just leave it alone, and just add to it. It's just, yeah.
well, with that interview, I think was it Rebel Wolves, or what is the name of the company under CDPR that's remaking? I think it's Rebel Wolves, right?
I'm not sure.
I might be making it up in my mind, but the CEO, well, the head dev said that we want to do these things because we want to update the world, like from a developer's point of view, right? But then he started immediately going into, we are a DEI, EG this, and we are diverse, and we're gonna, and that's like, okay, wait, you're a Polish dude in Poland. I know a lot of Polish people. They don't have the same mentality as these companies. So it's CDPR pushing that mentality onto a lower company, just like EA is doing with BioWare. And these indie companies have to submit to this like DEI shed that keeps happening. And he's talking about how it's going to be certain things are not appropriate. The people that we've hired are more appropriate for the job. And you can see it's almost like, one of those hostage videos where the person's just sitting there and he's like, yes, we're doing this, DEI, yes, diverse. It's stupid.
Yeah, no, that stuff is stupid. I mean, EA even put pressure with Mass Effect 3. I'm sure that because things were rushed, even though Mass Effect 3 is still a good game. And I think it's a little bit better after the extended cut. But even with the Legendary Edition, where is the multiplayer that people enjoyed? It's not there. And I think they could have just put it in there. People enjoyed that a lot. I just the same thing with the Last of Us 2, and it's just like Naughty Dog. I used to love that company, and now the direction they're going, they're just milking they're milking the hell, it seems, out of the Last of Us 2. Oh, we got the remaster, we got this. It's like, then what they did with the Last of Us 1 remaster, they put a scientist in there that Joel kills. Oh, spoiler alert, and that turns out to be Abby's father, and then that justifies Abby for killing Joel. And it's like, I can recognize that the gameplay is solid, just like I can recognize that from Spider-Man 2, but it's other stuff around the game that I just scratch my head at and say, why?
Remember this past Wednesday we read an article about Bandai Namco and their localizers forcing the narratives onto folks
and then
that are
there's
developing the games there. But you have the
Right.
one person working on Tekken 8 who says, I'm not bending my knee. These are my characters, and they're staying exactly how they are. You need more creative people like him to stand up and say, no, this is my creative vision. You're ruining my creative vision by changing it this way.
Then there's other people, like I have a person who probably hates more things than even Jace to some extent. But
hey, I try to like stuff.
But he's like, okay, I love the reason that Tekken 8 drives me crazy, as he said, is because where are all the costumes that the old one have? Like, okay, there's no pandering in this game, but where are the costumes? Like, I understand that to an extent, but if they're also giving you a really good game, I don't know. It's just, that's what he liked before. And of course, when you take stuff away from a game series, people don't like that for good reason. Other people don't care about that. And that's fine too. But once again, it's like, why are you taking these options away? That's why people are such a stickler at times for, I want turn-based. I don't want this action thing that's that's Final Fantasy is turning into. Now, for me, yes, I love turn-based, but I don't mind the more action-oriented combat if it's fun. It's all comes down to, if it's fun, then it's good. But then, Grand Blue Fantasy, as somebody a Relink, they came out and they said, well, we're not saying don't buy the game, but the research that this person has done, this game is heavily censored. They can't have this on the women. They can't this and that. And people are like, well, that sucks. And so you have to wait for a modder to come in and fix these things. And it shouldn't be that way. Or with Capcom, they're like, well, after what this person did with the naked Chun-Li during a tournament, and nobody should be using mods anyways. It's like they start ruining it for everybody else, because then Capcom goes, okay, well, guess what? Now you can't have fun anymore. Here's the no fun police, and it sucks.
Right.
Because it's like, what do you mean you can't mod these games now? Yeah.
Speaking of not having fun, Cash, what about, with what 2K is doing? If you have a program in there that their software doesn't like, they'll ban you.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And let's not forget, even modders get attacked for putting certain mods in.
They do. And Nexus mod is,
yeah. I mean, when you have someone putting a mod in for the Spider-Man game, not to have the flags on there, the trans and other flags. Oh no, we're taking it off of the feed, and you can't do that. Or even with Starfield, someone puts a mod in there so you don't have to worry about the damn.
Yeah, they banned them from Steam. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it's the same thing with the character creation. Are we going to be fair? If are we going to allow, bigger breasts or whatever? I mean, if there's a bigger, whatever dick size that you can have in the game, I'm like, are we going to be fair about this with all the genders? It's just all this. And it seems crazy. It's like, oh, well, why would you bring that up? Like, are you some blah, 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 whatever? It's like, no, it's like, why are you changing these things? People don't appreciate it. It's
we're equal opportunity offenders. I mean, you have small, medium, and Cashmoney size. That's that's all you need.
And the Baron size too, yes.
But I think we're
I did say small, didn't I?
I kind of think we're beating around the bush, because like we're talking about what's happening, but why it's happening is talked about very like we're speculating. So I don't know. I'm a journalist. I like to get facts. And some of the facts that I do see, I mean, I don't have emails or things or from corporations, but things that I've noticed. And a true detective, Cash, I can, put the little pins together with a string. But to me, it just seems there is an agenda. There is no other way this is happening unless...
Well, you can just look at history too. It's social engineering, and anytime someone wants to start taking control, or and warp things, what's the best way to do it? It's through the media of whatever source it is. Whether it's in the day, the newspapers, where you had pages where people write back and forth the discussion, such as in America with the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers, which was a discussion. But we talk about yellow journalism, and Frank and Hearst, and what he was doing. You take a look how regimes out there, like National Socialism was ever, but they sit back and say this is how we take over, is through education and through entertainment. You take a look and you see that entertainment is one things they want to take over. Radio, television. You look at North Korea, and they're a bustling film. A film country, but it's only their type of film putting their propaganda out there, and you can't even have humor because the humor might offend the ruling class.
I mean, even when I think it was Entertainment Weekly a few years ago, or at least 2 years ago, still had their comments section. Like somebody gets into an argument about tights with women, and they said, "Oh, they all wear stilettos or whatever. They wear heels, and they're fighting. It's ridiculous." And I'm like, but they're superheroes. Of course, they are going to wear tights. Even the females are going to wear tights. The argument is just so stupid. But they're just whatever it is. They have to spin it. They have to twist it around because it has to offend them for some reason. Like, how dare you have women superheroes who look good? How dare it's like, why wouldn't a superhero want to stay in shape? I don't care who it is.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I don't want a superhero to look like me. I mean,
Okay,
unless
so
it's the ball, the
can I
bouncing
just
ball.
one thing I do want to say. So this whole idea, and Cash knows where I'm going with this. I was on a stream with some people who kind of confuse certain things.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm actually like I live in the UK.
Mhm.
I grew up in Australia, but
Mm.
also I'm Russian. And in Russia, there was a film released during COVID about superheroes, which was a
Mhm.
Russian film, and it
Mm.
had super hot chicks, and it had like a bear
Mhm.
as like and it was a really bad film, but like
Was it called
Russia
like the Guardians or something like
right
that?
now, yeah, it was like a super stupid
Mm.
film, and we
Yeah.
watched partied it during COVID when we were in lockdown. But like in Russia right now, there is the same thing that you guys are talking about that you're missing in Hollywood, which is strong female
Mhm.
characters, strong male characters, and just a good story. And even if the
Right.
story is really cringe, it
Mhm.
it still is not like they're not doing this whole you're a man now you're a woman like that
Mhm.
whole
Right.
that is no not be you can do that, they're just not promoting it on screen
Mhm.
or in
Right.
cinemas.
Mhm. Well,
And
yeah,
that
that.
like one thing I don't understand like why people sometimes think like I'm not a socialist and I'm not going to get
Mhm.
political, but
Mhm.
when you go to the fact that you are associated with that country, that's
Mhm.
kind of
Mhm.
like what you are, and it's not. Like
No.
we're more fucking progressive than England, for instance.
Mhm.
You go to a bar, you don't even need to go to the bar to get a drink. You get your phone. I logged into the bar. The bartender comes up to you and gives you your drink.
There we go. That's like in
So
the old days in England when you had the button when you sat and you buzzed the button, they come to you. Now you use a phone.
Mm.
no, but that's kind of like my point. It's you can still have in a culture like the main thing is the man is going to be the strongest male character, just like Captain America or
Mhm.
Batman. Like they're going to lead the squad. It's never going to be the unless it's Wonder Woman
Unless it's
or
Wonder Woman or like,
Wonder,
I
yeah,
mean, even the how they built up Batgirl and stuff. Like, yeah, I would
yeah.
follow her. It's just,
yeah,
Mhm.
like it's
yeah.
fine, it's
Mhm.
cool. But what they're doing now is they're completely destroying all
Right.
of it, and other
Mhm.
cultures are saying no. These
Mhm.
are the standards, and this is cool. This is what we
Mhm.
like.
Right.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
we don't mind having that strong superhero. That's why Wonder Woman has been around a long time. And that's why
Yes.
when someone sits back and says, oh, she's going to start leading the team, it's like, okay, yeah, we can see that. She's got the
Yeah,
creds.
She can do
She
it.
put in the
Yeah.
time.
she's
Yeah.
got
That's
the
right.
experience.
Hmm.
That's right.
And,
Even like
and
Hawk
she,
Girl, you go back, like she's a strong
mhm,
female character
right.
too. She can lead. Yeah. Hmm.
But the thing is, yeah, she's a woman, but she's part of the team.
Hmm.
That's the
That's the
big thing.
thing. That's the thing.
Hmm. Exactly. And she doesn't have to be better or worse. I mean, again, we all have to remember we all have weaknesses and we have strength. And that's what we all play. That's why we have teams. Wonder Woman is
Hmm.
going to be weak in certain areas, just like
Hmm.
Superman's going to be weak in some areas,
Yes.
just
Yes.
like Batman's weak in certain areas. But
Yes.
where they're
Mhm.
weak, someone else is stronger. And that's how it works.
Yep.
I'm going to use the word community
You can't.
because we rely on each other.
You've got to have
Mhm.
weaknesses when you're writing these shows. I just believe that. And so you're
Yeah.
presenting stuff to the CEO or whatever, and a plot and uh, a script or whatever. It's like, yeah, you have to have weaknesses there. They don't want weaknesses and stuff. You know, we go back to
Well,
other
mhm.
characters that recently, but it's silly to not have
Well,
weaknesses, and like they are. It's just.
and with the divisiveness that they're doing, they're ruining that team aspect.
Yes, yes. You know,
How
just
can
like
you have
evil.
a proper team?
Evil has to be misunderstood, or we have to take this out,
Mhm.
or we had to change Corella. And even if
Mhm.
I know a person who actually likes that movie. But still, once again, they change her. They make her, even if the acting is good, like she can be just evil. Same with Maleficent. Same with all these characters. They can just be evil. It's okay. They don't have to be misunderstood. We don't have to relate to them. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, Tarkin was evil.
Yes.
He was there was no redeeming features about that.
No.
The Emperor was evil. There's no redeeming about that.
No.
And
Gul Dukat was manipulative and evil.
Khan was a megalomaniac and evil. I mean, it doesn't matter where across the way, and that's the one thing. If you destroy humor like they have, try to find something funny nowadays. You destroy the team dynamic in admitting that there are weaknesses that we have. And everyone, if it's a woman, it's the bestest ever. And the guys are whatever, dumb idiots. You start doing that, and that it's not hard to figure out that this is some social engineering that you're trying to promote. And it's not a good one.
Like I have another example, like Fables.
Yeah.
With like Bigby. He is a literally werewolf. He is a wolf disguised with his glamour to be a human, and he's a sheriff. And he is a very likable character who I can compare to maybe Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, where he's kind of like violent when he needs to be because of those emotions in his like true nature, but also always tries to suppress them. And that's something that everybody can relate to, whether you're in a situation in a coffee shop and somebody is annoying you and saying shit to you, and you want to either you have to decide, do you need to be this or do you need to be that? With him, same thing. And then you have Snow White, who's his kind of like sidekick. And she's this very proper lady who's always, and he's in love with her, but she's always very cold to him. But she's also very intelligent. And just having that dynamic in the comics is really interesting. Like with some of the other characters, that's interesting. That's interesting storytelling. And I really do hope that they cancel doing the live version. But they want to do a TV show. And no, that to me is going to be devastating because it's one of my favorite comics, Fables.
Well, yeah, and what are they going to do when they go live action on it? It's like, okay, we're going to change everything because we got to make it more acceptable, more palatable to the 2% blue hairs that who scream on all their Twitter bot accounts out there. And basically, that's what it is. They're catering to that. These people have not bought the properties. They go out and have their bots and all that, and they scream how horrible it is. Okay, we'll change it. Now, are you going to buy our product? No. Then why did we do this?
Yeah, no, the pandering still is a big problem, and it's still a virus. I'm just going to call it what it is. It's a virus.
Oh, it is. It's a sickness. And it's killing. But the thing is we have to look at the fact that things are getting better. A little bit. Usually, well, and that's just it. It's always darkest before dawn, as the old saying goes. And we have been starting to see things coming back that are good. And we were making mention of that. First of all, Godzilla -1, which on a low budget. Megan, which was a low budget and did so well. The Sound of Freedom, that a low budget, but lower budget, but still did well. People are probably going to yell at me, but Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. I mean, people are climbing for a new, a new franchise type thing. Here he delivers it, and I thought it was rather good. And Jace obviously, as we all know, he loves it. He's
9 out of 10 would watch it again.
And I'd watch it again. I want to see. I want to wait for that uncut one. But we're starting to see a little bit. I mean, even One Piece, where we're all going, "Oh my God, what are they going to do with this on Netflix?"
Well, even the animated movie for Babylon 5, The Road Home, that was very good.
You beat me to it. Sure. The Bab 5 guy here, you just busted my bubble. Thank you. I'm going to my safe space now. Bye. I'm going to safe space. No.
You get in your box, Baron. Yeah.
Get in my box. Yeah. But we are starting to see stuff, and of course, we're excited to see the new Ghostbusters. We're excited to see Dune 2. So we're starting to see stuff that we, us have gotten a little jaded, and I'm not gonna miss it. I've been jaded, but I'm coming back now, and one of the reasons why I'm coming back, besides all the wonderful people I deal with here, I'm starting to see stuff get better.
Can I just address this? Like Jay says, like he gives 9 out of 10 hyped. You guys said you liked it. Again, going back to, I had no interest in watching. I still have not watched it. I have nobody say like you need to go and watch it. It's good. Like I feel like it's just something that's there, and Zack Snyder's like his cut of the last was it Justice League, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Like,
Justice League.
I don't like
the Snyder cut. Yeah.
I don't like his film style. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Go on, Cash.
I just give some lower points. I mean, I know Jace wasn't bothered by this, but for me, and I know Mike feels the same way about this, there was just a little bit too much slow motion.
That was driving me.
That was his little trademarks he put in there. But I found it very solid storytelling. I could see where he was borrowing, and which all properties do. I know he was attacked about that. And by the way, I'm not a Zack Snyder stan at all.
Me either.
I'm not going to go out there and everything he does is great. He farts rosebuds. So I'm not all that.
One of the reasons I gave it a high score was because I went in with very low expectations.
Same. Well, yeah. I came in with no expectations, and I watched it
story was
analytically. Yeah, I watched it analytically through the whole thing.
I kind of want to point that out too. Like, are we really at the point where you come into something with low expectations and then it reaches at least some form of like?
It depends what it is, but
actually pretty good. Like,
yeah, I mean, I went in with no expectations. I think it's about the best thing to do, because if you go with negative one, you're gonna try to glom onto that. If you trying to go for with a positive, you're gonna try to glom on it. If you go with neutral and analytical, you can point out, okay, this worked, this didn't. Yeah, this story's solid. Zach cut back on that slow motion. Yes, the first part of the film is a little too slow. You could have tightened that up a little bit. You can go through that critical, but when you come at the end going, yeah, this is a really good film. And for me, it's because I've gotten older, and I'm not the kid I used to be where, but then again, back then it's like, as a teenager, you go from one theater to another. You see Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, 2010. You see Octopussy, or For Your Eyes Only, and Gremlins and Ghostbusters. You're going from one theater to another through these magical summers, and you're not disappointed. You can't walk away and say that was a waste of 2 hours or an hour and a half or whatever. Not like you do now.
No, it's
not like you do now. And
there's just a lot of films that aren't even worth, in my opinion, to go to the theater to see. Some here and there, but not as many as it used to be. Even the summer blockbuster, you're like, this is what's considered a blockbuster now.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So again,
I went in and I saw Expendables 4, and I wish I could have gotten my money back. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. And the thing is, I remember when we did have bad films, but you still didn't feel like you wasted 2 hours and $3, at the time. It was still fun. You could find ways to have fun around it. But I can understand why you're apprehensive to wanting to see it or not interested in seeing it, Hannah. I'm not going to criticize you on that one at all. You have valid points on that one. But the thing is, it's out there, and that's the magic about our group. We all have different tastes. We have different outlooks. We have things that we look forward to, or things we're not looking forward to, and we can talk about and discuss and say, okay, you don't like it, I like it, no problem. Or I didn't like it, you liked it, no problem. And these are the reasons why. So, and I like that.
Yeah,
that's what we need more of, right?
It also depends. Like, I'm sorry to whoever spoke. So, Mike,
that's
was it
me.
you?
Don't worry.
No. Yeah. It depends on like what you're watching in the moment. Because I'm the kind of
Mm-hmm.
person, like, if I start something, I'm going to binge it and watch it.
Mm.
So if I'm watching something that's a true crime documentary or
Mm-hmm.
something like, I don't know. I don't want to admit it. Should I admit it? Love is Blind Sweden. You know,
Okay.
some stupid reality stuff like this. Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like watch 2 episodes of this and then go and watch Rebel Moon. Like, you need to be in that mindset. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's understandable too. Yeah, I kind of get a little bit that way. Right now, I guess I'm getting into a little bit more of an anime mindset, and I'm watching. Well, the Long Suffering, I'm turning into a weeb, Spy Family, and she likes it too. So we're watching that. I'm also on the other side, also watching Sword Art Online, and I was very surprised how well I liked that series. I mean, I go back to the old days of Star Blazers, as you can see there. And,
you'll see where that goes. I just, I don't know all the trauma that goes on and all the real life situations, but I can't get some other people to watch that. But they certain, and it's okay. But I wish they would give it a chance. They try and they just, I'm like, well, I guess you guys don't like a lot of these situations that could actually happen in real life. They really could.
Well, outside of anime, look how people reacted to Arcane, and it's a crime.
Yes. Well, because
it's
it's linked to League of Legends, so I don't want to watch it. Oh, that's shit. It's this. I'm like, no, it isn't. But give it a few episodes, and then if you still don't like it, then fine. But
and the Long Suffering likes it too. That's another thing that we're watching. So, I mean, if the Long Suffering's liking the stuff, it's like, wow, this does have a reach outside of what we like.
Yep. It's just going to be a while. I think it's going to be yet another year and stuff before season 2 comes out. It's fine to wait for this, but sometimes it feels like it's delayed forever. I don't think it's this year.
I thought it was this year.
I think it's next year.
We'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. It's got to come out soon. But yeah, I mean, as it goes, is if they need time to do it, have time to do it. All I can say is that artwork, the animation is just absolutely beautiful compared to some of the crap that we've been getting.
It is, and the story gets dark. Got this underworld, and then you have the people who are supposed to have all the money. In the top area, you got the lower area, and people were doing these drugs and stuff. It's an interesting story, and you don't even have to care about League of Legends at all to watch this.
No. I don't know anything about League of Legends, to be honest with you. So, and maybe that's the blessing on my part. And okay, no problem, no problem at all. I like it.
But Netflix is always up and down because it's like Jason and I we're going to try that. Yeah.
Like, they have really good things that they do, but history is not one of them. When they do their history like the last one they released a couple of days ago about Alexander the Great, I was like, oh my god.
By the way, November of this year, Cash.
Really? Wow.
Yep,
okay.
November this year. I thought it was this year later.
Okay. Well, good.
Well,
as
I mean,
they keep to that. That'd be nice.
Well, look at the BBC and their race swapping of
Dr. Who.
royals. Yeah. Well, not just Dr. Who. I'm talking about with royals. With the royals and all that. Which royal did they swap? I can't remember. Or the Viking show where they they turn a white male Viking.
Oh, you're talking about Anne Boleyn.
Anne Boleyn. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Anne Boleyn. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and now Hercules. Hercules is now. It's like, come on. Okay, fine. We're doing an all-white Shaka Zulu, and we're going to make sure all the guys playing them are going to be about 5'2". And so 5'2" white guys. There we go. That's our new Shaka Zulu.
That's right. Put them in there. See how that goes.
Right.
Even stuff like Shogun is coming back on FX. I'm kind of curious about it, but then I'm kind of not. But yeah.
Hi, Clifton.
Oh.
Hey, Clifton.
Wasn't the original Shogun good enough?
I would think so. It's considered a
Richard Chamberlain, right? Richard Chamberlain played the part.
So yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how that's gonna be and how people are gonna respond to that, but it's always up and down. Then you find stuff like Cyberpunk Edge Runners. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Man,
that's a
that
good
had a
one.
lot of it had a lot of
That's
trauma for good
yeah, that's
reason. I mean, considering how the world was. So
hmm I don't think there's any good
no,
cyberpunk world out there. It's like let's
no,
take Blade Runner and make it even
right,
worse.
exactly.
Well, that's kind of
Um,
funny that you guys say that because I think his name's Podland. I'm so sorry, I don't remember. But when he created the actual tabletop game, it was
yes. Mm-hmm.
what was his name? Mike Pondland,
Oh,
Podland,
Pondsmith, was it?
Pondsmith, something like
I
that. Like
think
he
you're
created
getting
a
close to that.
really interesting
The,
world. It was back
yeah.
in
Mm-hmm.
freaking
Oh,
back
yeah.
in the day. And
Yeah, I think it
again,
was 80s.
yeah, and like I really want to actually get the tabletop. Like I'd rather play.
Yeah.
I know like Jace, for instance, loves the new version of Cyberpunk, but for me, it's
Right.
been tinted by the experience that I had when I first purchased it, and I was so disappointed with all the bugs, with everything that was not finished. And this is why it's happening again and again in this industry. People are purchasing, pre-ordering,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll
Well,
Yeah,
never do that.
I had it happen with me with Star Wars Jedi Survivor last year.
mm-hmm.
That game was full of
Oh, never heard
bugs.
of it.
Well, it's the same with, I mean, yeah, obviously Suicide Squad and other stuff is a hot topic, but really, like, why can't we get a Marvel or DC game that has an online and an offline, or in this case, an offline, so you can play by yourself if you want, then go online and play with people or up to 4 people or whatever, and have this cool story. Why do we need stuff like we have to have this bathroom humor that's not necessary at all? It's just that kind of stuff. It's just
Right.
ridiculous. It's cheap writing, and this is Rocksteady, who gave people such a really good trilogy. Even though Arkham Knight I won't say is as good as um, Arkham City, but still, the trilogy is solid, and the story is there. And this is supposed to connect to that world, and it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, like you
I mean,
guys didn't learn from Marvel Avengers, yeah.
Mike Podsmith was the guy. It was 1988 when the Cyberpunk role-playing game came out, and I
yeah,
prefer the tabletop. I mean, if I take this down, you'll see the library I have behind me of role-playing games.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
like, yeah, and the whole thing
well,
about
in a shelf.
yeah, nice. The whole thing about the pre-ordering, like, it can be worry. It doesn't matter what game it is or what you're excited about. There can be problems, and so it might be better to wait. Might be better to wait for mods. They're telling you these games are $70. It's like, is there actually $70 worth of content in this game? That I always go back to that. You're just not sure, and it's the base game. So it's like, if you really want the game, go and get the ultimate edition or whatever, get all the costumes or whatever you want. You can find it cheaper on CD Keys, other places. You don't have to just pay the full price like on Steam. And
Well, I'll go
And
back to the question you asked me after I bought Jedi Survivor last year and was starting to have issues with the game, and I was playing on PC, not console. You asked me, would I do it again? And I told you, absolutely not. Now, fast forward, I have made an exception for
Right.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because I know what I'm getting into.
You do, and yeah, as that console version until it comes out for PC, and even when it came out for PC, the Final Fantasy VII remake, it was working well. I don't think many people had bugs with it. Like, you're gonna get probably what you paid for, probably, but it's just that $70 price tag, or them jacking up the prices with Sony, with the PlayStation Plus, which $20 more now, when you could usually find it for 45 cheaper on places like, of course, CD
yeah.
Keys and whatever. It's just like, how much money do these people need? It's the same thing with the streaming service. Do I need 5 streaming services every year? It's crazy. Like, the money adds up, and you're just like, how much money do I need to spend on this? And is all this content worth it? I mean, Spectrum finally has Disney Plus for free with ads, and it's not terrible, but it's also like I would rather watch a lot of this old content, and I've said this before, than a lot of the new content. There's still newer content on there, like Echo and stuff. It's like, do I want to go through this again after what happened with Moon Knight and some of this other stuff, which I actually watched the whole way through, or stuff like Ahsoka. I watch it all the way through. It's like, how much do I need to? It feels like you're starting to punish yourself sometimes. And if other people like it, that's fine. But they get mad at you for like criticizing this, and it's like, well, these are how I feel about it.
Well, let's take a couple steps back here, because as we're talking about this stuff. Mike Pondsmith, right?
Yeah.
He's a man of color. He's a black man, right?
Yeah.
And he delivers us not only cyberpunk, right? Castle Falkenstein. Also, he delivered, which was also converted over into GURPS. He gave us Oriental Adventure Lines with Dungeons and Dragons. He contributed to the Forgotten Realms. I mean, this man has his fingerprints inside so many RPGs, tabletops, that is, and awards to it. And according to everybody, he can't do that. Why can he do that? He does not fit that mold, and we haven't shunned him. We just, we don't care about what he looks like. It's what he gave us.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing is he's able to do all this stuff without the BS that we have today.
No, it's exactly like with Andrzej Sapkowski from Poland with The Witcher. You don't care what he looks like, where he's from. You enjoy his books and his material. And then when they start making it into, well, I am this, and my Twitter says this pronoun, and I am that's when you're like, oh God, just shut the fuck. Sorry, I'm gonna swear.
No, you can
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
we've done it. We've done it here.
I'm behaving today. They know that I can.
No, but you're saying the right thing. It comes to, of course, I want to know the author and their background, but then I'm not gonna like pester the author like George R. Martin too. I mean, what is he doing? Appearing on everything and doing all of, like, go back. You're supposed to be behind the scenes. This is why I like Christopher Nolan. He when he does his films, he takes years, or maybe even James Cameron or other like Ridley Scott. They take years to, they don't just sit there on their social media talking about this is my opinion about this, and this is my opinion about everything that happens on Twitter. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to work on something. Film comes out. I'm obligated by PR people and my managers to say, do certain interviews. I'll do them. And then I go behind the scenes and work on my next film. Same with Quentin Tarantino. They're not there to be Twitter whores or social media whores.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on, Baron.
Okay.
I'm done.
I was going to say, Mr. Floppy Wiener is George R. Martin himself, for crying out loud, right? And how hypocritical he is. He's going to go out there and, just like you say, shoot his mouth off left and right. But when one of us counters what he says, or says, when are you going to get back to writing your book that you promised us you're going to do? He goes on the attack and starts calling us all sorts of vile names.
What about Tim Sheridan?
Oh, God.
He attacked a lot of people.
Yeah, I got banned. We all got banned from him. We're happy about it.
And he's still attacking people who didn't like Masters of the Universe Revelations and who don't like Masters of the Universe Revolution.
And his Green Lantern. I mean, for crying out loud, you know what that got me banned from his account? He bans me completely. I did an eye roll. I did an eye roll gift to something he says. Just an eye roll. And it's like, you're banned. That's how fragile this guy is. This man's so fragile.
How dare you don't like my interpretation of the first Green Lantern? I think it was basically the first, since many years ago.
That is so interesting. What Gazillionaire is saying about Kevin Conn. Yeah,
we don't care.
No.
I cared about his performance as Batman, his voice performance, because he was able to let us know what Batman was experienced by the tone of his voice.
Yeah. And now it's kind of changed with the voice actors have again become. I saw something about Lauren Bailey talking about when she was doing Abby's voice for The Last of Us 2 a couple of days ago. She was being harassed. She was pregnant with her child, and that's horrible. Nobody should do that. But it's like you're always promoting yourself, whether I don't know if it's your choice or the companies are making you do it. Because Troy Baker, for instance, I've met him a couple of times. And I've met Nolan North, who does Nathan Drake, and his voice. And they're very down to earth, really cool people. And so I don't know if like Troy Baker, Nolan North, they like have their own like gaming channel where they have fun. So I don't. It's just, again, like I'm going back to you're being exposed to the fact that you're on social media, which gives other people the chance to attack you and talk more about you and make speculations and say certain things. And like you're involved with like Naughty Dog. I used to love The Last of Us. Now with Neil Druckmann and where it's going, I don't know. But it's not Troy Baker's fault. And it's not any of the voice actors.
Yeah, I don't. The thing is, though, like Troy Baker did start attacking people who didn't like The Last of Us, and he started slandering with names that was on social media. I'm sure he can be cool. It's same with Ron Perlman, other people. They can't stop themselves sometimes, and it's like so. Then people start thinking, well, you don't need to do that. And the whole surrounding controversy around The Last of Us 2, where Sony was like, oh, I don't like these memes, so I'm going to get people banned on Twitter at the time. I'm going to shut down their comment sections. I'm going to do this. And so all this nonsense surrounding The Last of Us 2, Troy Baker before going out and attacking people about the game. I agree with the death threats and all the other nonsense. Is not necessary. It's not right if people do that, but people are stupid online too, and they act ignorant. But so do these actors. It doesn't matter the voice actor, the whole thing with Vic Mignogna, and Christopher Sabat. I mean, it's crazy. Like there's all this drama all the time with this stuff, and it's like, if these people really are this bad, then let's prove it. But even that Vic Mignogna thing, like watching so much of that, finding out about that, like 2 years ago, and I'm like, I still don't see how this guy is supposed to be a piece of garbage. I still don't see
let's also not forget the fact that when you hear the name Vic Mignogna or even Gina Carano per se, and people want them banned just because of what's happened in the past. Come on, folks.
Yep. I mean,
it's something.
Yep.
Go ahead. Something did not do.
Exactly. You know, so but Troy Baker doing that, other people doing that, it's like, look, you have to understand people are going to criticize this game. This game, The Last of Us 2, has made less money than the first game. How is that not right there a red flag? And if you like the game, that's fine. But it's just some of these voice actors, other actors, they come out, they go on the attack on people, and it's just not right. And I'm sure they can be cool other times, but then they can also be a dick other times. So, you know.
Pedro Pascal, honestly, in the first couple of episodes, especially the first episode playing Joel, I think he did a really good job. But then the whole narrative, again, going back to the writing, everything changed. Everything was just so weird and didn't feel like The Last of Us. Not to say he's a bad actor, but always at the back of my mind, I had those things that he said about Gina. And like, I tried to erase that, but like, why do you need to say anything? Just do your job. Like, I could do my job. I don't need to go into the internet and talk about my colleagues or people that I work with. So what is the point of doing that?
Yep.
Points.
Right. And
it's not brownie points for what?
Brownie points with the right thinking people.
Right. Yeah. All they need to say is
he wants to.
Just be like Henry Cavill, like he was about The Witcher. He's that you know, people are passionate about this, and that's why they feel the way they do. But like with Troy Baker and other people, I don't think Nolan North has done it though. It's just like,
No, he hasn't. He's like Henry. He's very kind of like removed.
mhm.
Yeah.
I just, you don't have to act like that. It's the same like the woman who played Faye Valentine. She went off
Oh,
on people, and people went, okay, you want to play that game? That's fine. So we're going to dig up
Mhm.
dirt on you, and we're going to make you look like a fool. And then, of course, for at least a few months from all these bigger channels and stuff, they just went after her. Well, you can't
Mhm.
blame them. She went
No.
hardcore on the fans, and people went, okay, started calling them names, and they're locked
Yeah.
in their bathrooms or whatever they were saying.
Mhm.
You know, they're perverts, they're this and that, and then they said, oh well, what's this? You
Mhm.
know, oh, this looks like something. You're worried about some outfit. Like, they're just such hypocrites. Simeon Lou,
Yeah.
different people. It's like, stop saying these
Elizabeth,
things, and then you won't
yeah.
be an idiot.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Pinata, whatever her name is, yeah.
Yes,
Where
yes.
basically she was wearing an outfit like Faye
Mhm,
Valentine in the anime and
mhm,
something. And
mhm.
what, you
Yep.
can't wear that?
Right, right. You know, and
Mm.
so it's just, it's crazy to me. And just
Mhm.
don't do these things. And Netflix, they can take a wrecking ball to things too. Like, I'm hoping the last Airbender that me and Jace are going to try, I hope it's going to be
A
good.
lot of people
I
are.
know they started changing some things, but then My Hero is going to get a live action. What are they going to do to that? I'm a little worried. Sure, One Piece turned out well so far, but still.
It's scary.
Yes.
But so many things you don't want to have turned into live action.
No, they don't have to be.
They're loud and glorious enough in animation or anime or whatever it is.
Yes.
They should stay there because in many ways that palette
Well,
is
let's face
bigger.
it. If you take an animated series or an anime series and try to put it to live action, it's not going to work in many cases. Even with
No.
the use of CGI, it's not going
Mhm.
to have the same effect that its source material has.
Right. I mean, Cowboy Bebop, yes, it could if it was done properly, but it wasn't.
And do you know
No.
what? I liked the first, maybe like the opening scene. I thought I was like, oh, that's cool. It's
Mhm.
interesting. But
Mhm.
then it just felt, again, it was written by somebody who does not know. And I am never going to say I know anything about anime or comics, Japanese stuff, but I know something. And even for me, it felt forced. It felt very like recycled. It
Mhm.
wasn't from the heart. One Piece was from the heart
Yeah.
because the actual creator was involved, and he said unless
Mhm.
they needed to reshoot certain
Mhm.
scenes to make them,
Mhm.
unless he said, I'm not going to sign off. I'm not going to give you
Right.
the rights unless you do it right.
Yeah.
Mhm. And that's the way it should be out there. The respect, if especially if they're still around with us, you should respect
Well,
what the person
even
that
so,
created it.
even if you have members of the family of that creator, like let's say for instance Rod Roddenberry, is he doing a good
Yeah.
job with Star Trek right now? No, he's
No,
not.
I don't think he cares about Star Trek. Honestly, he likes the money, and that's what he likes. I'll go so far as to say that. I will say that, and it shows. And it shows. But you take a look at Christopher Tolkien. Look how Christopher Tolkien tried so hard to make sure that his father's legacy was not destroyed. People used to complain big time about his gatekeeping. But what
Mhm.
happens? Not long after he died, boom,
Mhm.
everything went to shit. Let's do this Ring of Power series. You have George Lucas who's still alive and well. Even on a handshake, yeah, we're going to do this, George. We're going to continue on what you have. Oh, he's out the door. Let's toss this all away and do our own thing.
I feel like somebody he had like a Godfather moment or something. Somebody put a horse in his bed and said, if you don't sign the rights, we're gonna, like, I don't understand.
Well, I guess it's that whole thing with Jim Henson when he
Yeah.
signed with Disney, that he's like, oh, let's take a chance. But yes, it definitely feels like Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, people talk about that too much on channels,
Yeah.
but really it's
Mhm.
not just her, it's other people too. It's just
Right.
they have to change these things, and it's like, well, how does this make sense? I would love to sit in these boardrooms and said, why is this a good idea to bring this character back, and what is the reasons? And don't tell me that it's because it's female or it's male or it's this,
Right.
because that's just ridiculous. What
Yeah.
is the good reason for that? And I know that would probably upset people, but who cares? They're going to get upset anyways. But what is
Yeah.
a good reason to have this? Why should this character be like this when in the source material it's like this? And
Right.
it's just crazy to me. Very
Well, come on,
crazy.
you know better than that, Cash. Screw the
That's
source material.
That's right.
Screw it.
Right.
It's, what?
Yep.
What? Yeah.
Well,
take a look at
according
the
to Kathleen Kennedy, there is no other source material. They have nothing to go to.
I'm sorry.
There was somebody
like
else
Star
who
Trek.
said that too, also.
Mhm.
Yeah. Or they said, oh, I read half a chapter of some EU. I'm like, well, that doesn't help.
Yeah. Oh, we're not
How
going to
about
bring
read
him
one
up.
full book? Read one full book and then try to get some
I
ideas.
read a Cliff Note so I can come on and talk about it.
Yeah.
No, I mean that's just it. I mean, it doesn't matter what property it is. I mean, even taking a look at Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's works, and what people have done with Sherlock Holmes since then. Sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
It's also they can start scoring their pandering points. Yeah, pandering points.
Yep.
Well, it's like that new show on Amazon, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you try it? Or wait, it
No.
hasn't come out yet? I don't know.
No.
Is it out?
I'm not going to watch it. Don't care.
I watched the first movie with Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. I liked it, and that
Yeah.
was just fine enough. That was fine.
That
I
was-
don't
yeah.
need a TV series of these two.
Yeah.
What I've heard about that Amazon series is that it's just a copy and paste job of the movie and other sources of material that aren't even related to Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They're taking from other TV shows and movies and putting it in there because they're bankrupt, creatively bankrupt.
Bankrupt. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking back in the 80s, 90s here. Alienation movie came out. Gail Ann Hurd, ex-wife of James Cameron, did the movie. James Caan, Mandy Patinkin, great film, right? So they decided to do a TV series off of it. I have a mental block on the producer's name, but he was involved with the V miniseries. He was involved with the Incredible Hulk and things like that. So he's going to do the new Alienation series. Obviously, he changed many concepts out from that movie and took out certain things completely. We're not going to even touch that at all. But the thing is, it was still a great series. It was his own creature. And, you came back and watched it every week. And you were excited for that next season until, Fox goes at the last minute, we're not going to bring it back. We're going to be like a network now. We're going to
right.
back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, rest in peace, Gary Graham. That still hits me hard. That guy was great. Hard to believe he's gone. It's a shit year again. Shit. Carl Weathers,
I was going to say him, Carl Weathers, and.
Mm-hmm. But there's a way to change something or translate something over from being a movie to a television. I mean, take a look at MASH. I mean, MASH the movie and MASH the TV show don't mesh. They're two different creatures, but yet work.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And and Trapper John, everyone starts thinking Trapper John is the sequel off of the MASH TV show. No, that was a sequel. They said it's basically a sequel off of the MASH movie. So this is kind of like taking Trapper John from the MASH movie and bringing it into that one. And again, it's his own creature. Oh, Lou Grant. I mean, he went from a comedy show, sitcom, to a drama series. The same character, winning Emmys in both series, being I think the only one to do the same character in a comedy series and in a drama series. Yeah, they turned around, they changed the situation, but it was still Lou Grant.
Yeah.
You can do these changes if you are respectful to the characters around it. And you have to do certain changes sometimes. But again, Are they realistic? Are they respectful? Or are they just, I got to check off a box somewhere?
But then you also don't want to go into the nepotism route of casting like Scorsese, where certain directors cast the same actors over and over again. And like, I read Killers of the Flower Moon maybe 3.5 years ago. And I was like, oh my God. I heard a rumor that Scorsese was going to do a film with Leonardo DiCaprio starring as, God, what was that serial killer in Chicago back in the
Dahmer?
1800s?
Oh, 1800. Oh,
The one who had like a whole house. He was like a rich. Oh God, what was his name?
oh.
Anyway, so he was something H. Holmes. That's it. And he was going to do a film with Leo, and then they changed the narrative. And I actually spoke to the author of Killers of the Flower Moon. He's a journalist. The book is not a fictional book. It's literally an account of what happened.
Yeah, it's based on a true story.
Yeah,
it's
and Scorsese wanted to do the book justice, and then he wanted to cast somebody else, and then Leo kind of flipped it. Leo was never supposed to be. I'm not going to spoil it because it is a really good story. So read the book. But Leo kind of flipped it with the whole Hollywood thing, and Scorsese wanted to stay true to what happened, and then they kind of changed the narrative and changed the actors. And I was a little bit surprised because for me, when I was reading it, I was actually thinking sometimes I read books or accounts and I'm like, I could picture this actor if it was a screenplay. And I'm like, oh my God, Leo would be great as this Texas Ranger. And then all of a sudden, like, the things happened, and it's very strange how it works. So it's also your connections and the influences you have and how popular you are. And that kind of just is it's not true to the story or what audiences want to see. It's like, again, like patting yourself on the back and nepotism in a way. And that's not cool.
To be honest, that goes back to even Orson Welles, where he kept on using a stock group of actors.
Yeah.
I mean, Nolan likes to use the same actors too. It's just they feel comfortable with them, but I understand. Like, it's nice to bring in some new blood too. Sometimes they will. I mean, Denzel's son, Nolan brought him in Tenet, so. There's
and a lot of people didn't like that film. I
like that movie, actually. I know people thought it was confusing and stuff. I still like that film. But I liked Killers of the Flower Moon movie. It was very interesting and quite brutal, but it's based on a true story. So
But yeah, Scorsese does like using his stock troupe. There's no doubt about it.
He does.
And like you say,
even the Coen brothers used some of the same actors in their movies.
Of course.
So, I suppose that's how they do it too. Are these actors going to be playing the same type of character, or are you going to see a different range of their acting abilities, where it's going to be?
Well, that's why I like Cillian Murphy. Like, for me, is somebody who I can see why people keep inviting him.
Yes.
Back. He, like, in Peaky Blinders is Tommy Shelby, I think one of my favorite characters. He's just so, like, we started with talking about complicated characters, but are likable, but still brutal, or maybe have some evil in them, or maybe born into a society where they don't have a choice. They're born into a family of criminals and bootleggers or whatever. Like, and I think he could play anybody. If he can play somebody like Tommy Shelby, and then play Oppenheimer, and then they're doing a new 28 Days Later, like a sequel, aren't they?
Mhm.
I
don't know.
like, yeah, they said that he's interested in doing that. So I just feel like he's a different character, and just like William Dafoe, he's a
Mhm.
different. In The Lighthouse, he was brilliant. I loved him in The Lighthouse. In the Spider-Man films, he's brilliant.
Mhm.
As
Yeah,
long
William
as you
Dafoe's a
can
great
portray completely like that is character. That is an actor.
Mhm.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I think the same thing like with Carl Urban, especially after seeing him in Dread. I mean, here he takes on that role which he loves, and he plays it properly. He doesn't take the helmet off because
Right.
that's how you
Right.
play the character. He was insistent on that, and a lot of actors don't like doing that. And it's like,
Yeah.
here, and of course, talk about another dichotomy. Here, a lot of people love Judge Dredd, even though he's this authoritarian fascist police officer in a crumbling society. But we still love the character. It doesn't mean that we agree, but we love the character.
Yeah, and when he's like butch in The Boys, and he's like, "Oh, you." Can I say it? Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Good.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's like, "Oh, you can't." And he's like drinking his tea. He's like, "Oh, you can't." Like that's like typical butcher, and like he's so. And when he was a freaking, what was his name in Lord of the Rings?
Oh,
Good
Eomar.
Lord. Yeah. Oh my God. Like I love Carl Urban. He's very diverse as an actor.
Yeah, a wide range, definitely.
So, good actresses. I think Nicole Kidman's pretty good at doing stuff like that.
She has done some good ranges. Of course, Sigourney Weaver, again, that's another one who's gone out there and done some great range.
Definitely
of parts on there. Always, always fun to watch her.
I mean, even Susan Sarandon has had good roles too.
Yeah, she's had some good roles. And she can do it right. She was in the Dune miniseries sequel, Children of Dune, in there. Miscast, but she was in that one, amongst other stuff. Yeah, I mean, Carrie Fisher. I mean,
Carrie Fisher and Blues Brothers, and then in
Star God, Wars, so hysterical in Blues Brothers is absolutely hysterical. Her doing that part.
Who else? Damn. I kind of want to. No, Mila Jovovich is always kind of like herself, though. No, she's no.
Well, you got Uma Thurman. She can.
Yes. Yeah, Uma Thurman's definitely has good range.
Charlize Theron has good range too.
She does. She has some good range. She's done some comedy and some drama.
Working with what was that movie with the hair gel again? I can't remember.
You're talking about There's Something About Mary.
Is that it? Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Cameron Diaz.
Diaz
good range.
She has some good range.
You don't like her?
It depends on the role, but I mean, I thought she worked well in The Mask, and
she did work
Something About Mary, and she wasn't bad in stuff like Charlie's Angels, but
I mean, come on, like the most obvious is Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
she has a lot of range. As a person, though, I'd probably throw her out of my car. But as an actress,
well, Dame Judith
Laura Dern has a lot of range too. I mean, you
that's
talk
what
about
I'm talking.
except Holo.
Helen
We don't
Mirren.
need to talk about Holo.
Helen,
but
I was just going to mention Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren has a lot of range. Yes, Judi Dench.
Yeah, I thought I always said Dame Judi Jen.
Okay.
Sean Phillips. A lot of people don't know her in the United States, but she was I, Claudius. She was in the David Lynch Dune film. She's an excellent actress. Very elegant actress.
Ava Green, I would say. Gosh, I haven't seen her in something in a while, but yeah.
Yeah, I like Eva Green. I think she was in Penny Dreadful, wasn't she, in the TV show?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I mean, even
That's-
Sally Fields to a point.
Oh yeah, Sally Fields, definitely. Yeah. Even if we're gonna go back, I mean, what Lily Tomlin has some good range too. Even though
she did at one time.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, and we can't forget the Queen of Comedy, Lucille Ball.
Of course. Yeah.
She was more than that, you know, when it came down to who she was. Eve Arden, you know, and when going back in the old days with Eve Arden and her snappy wit and how she did stuff, she was great. Phyllis Diller, again, I'm going in with comedians.
Yes.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Yes.
Mary Tyler Moore.
Absolutely.
I mean, no, her range of career. Yeah, she started out just being a pair of legs on one of the detective series, and then went on to Dick Van Dyke, and then of course Mary Tyler Moore show. Let's see. The one who played Phyllis on Mary Tyler Moore in it. I hate when I have mental blocks on names. But of course, she was a young Frankenstein and all sorts of other stuff. You know, great character actress. And
I know one. Renee Zellweger.
Oh yeah,
yep. She has a lot of range.
Good range.
Yes. I haven't seen much of her lately, though.
No, some of these people just. I don't know.
The last one
older,
she played like a biopic film.
Yeah, it was a Judy Garland film.
Judy Garland.
Yeah. Cloris Leachman. Cloris Leachman.
Yep.
That's what.
Julianne Moore. She has a lot of range.
Terry Garr.
Yeah, but she's got like her. I'm gonna be so super sexist. Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. She's got like cat ass mouth.
Who? Terry Garr.
No, Julianne Moore.
Oh, Julianne Moore. Oh, Julianne Moore.
She needs to get Botox or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can be a fan if you want.
Sorry.
Jennifer Connelly.
Oh yes.
Yes, she has a lot of range.
What about Madeline Kahn?
Yeah, she's going back.
Oh, her last thing, I think the last show she did was actually one of the Bill Cosby's sitcoms that he had after the Cosby Show. And
was it just called Cosby or something?
I think it might have been, yeah.
Okay.
I think it might have been. But I mean, yeah, she had some range and she could sing and, you know, she could do comedy and serious. It's again, we don't have a lot of those calibers even today. It's like, you know,
Emma Stone.
Oh yeah,
Emma Stone. There we go.
She just needs to stop looking like a skeleton. I think the last time I saw a picture, I'm like, have you eaten today? Did you eat? Are you sure?
It's very skinny.
Yes, and just didn't look healthy. And like, what's going on? I hope she's better now, but you know, still, I can't agree with her throwing J.K. Rowling under the bus for J.K. Rowling saying something that's factual, but you know.
I don't even know how you know this. I don't follow this.
Too much reading, too much of this stuff, unfortunately.
This is Mr. Twitter War you're talking to here. I mean,
no. I do not want to get in fights with those.
I just got back and
when I go on Twix, I only like, you know, when you have like For You and then you have everyone you follow. Like I'm always For You, but it's always like suppresses the actual people. Even if I follow you and I like your stuff, it doesn't show it. So I have to go to everyone, and then it's like countless like media accounts of everything. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, going back to Harry Potter, what about Maggie Smith?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Maggie Smith.
She has a lot of range. That woman's a dynamo, I would say. Yes.
And she's then we had Angela Lansbury.
Oh, she was great too.
The same way. Yeah. I mean, again, you know, everyone thinks of her as Murder, She Wrote, but it's like, no, she had a lot bigger career than that.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I mean, even people like Viola Davis has some good range, but it's just her mouth is the problem. It's like, when I saw her in Fences and some of this other stuff, it's like, yeah, I really enjoyed
Angela Bassett has good range as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
She does, definitely.
Selma
and again,
Hayek has
that's
some good range, obviously. I mean, you see her in stuff like Desperado when she was a lot younger, and you're like, oh.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think that's sometimes the problem, especially with these actors. Again, and Anna brought it up. They're so fixated getting on Twitter and shooting their mouths
Yes.
off left and right
Yes.
that the actor and the role start, that separation becomes less and less. And it
Right.
starts being hard to want to watch a film where this person is literally going out there saying how much they despise you, even though they don't know you.
Exactly. And look, even I would say there's stuff like what was it? Was it Newsroom? I think it might have been Newsroom, but there was stuff even like Jane Fonda has done that I've enjoyed in the past, but now no.
Yeah.
But
No.
before, yes. But when they start shooting off their mouth about stuff, it's just like,
Okay,
why?
so another actress that I just thought of is Patricia Arquette.
Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Because
Patricia,
I'm
yeah.
like a really big fan of Adam Scott and Ben Stiller's show Severance. I don't know if
I've
you
heard
ever.
of it. I've heard of it. I've
Yeah,
never watched it.
and they're filming season 2 now, and it's like one of my favorite shows. It's so super. It's like Succession, but with a tech spin on who we are as a society and in our workplace. Like I love that show so much. But anyway, Patricia Arquette, I remember she went, I think it was the Golden Globes or Emmys or something, where she won an award for playing Gypsy Rose Blanchard's mom,
Mhm.
Dee Dee Blanchard, and she started going on about like whatever it was, some political, social bullshit. And I was like, God, I used to love you as a kid, and True Romance and Stigmata, like all the stuff you appeared in, that super weird supernatural show you were in. And then you come out and you say this, and it's like almost like you killed Never Meet Your Heroes, but whatever. And then she appears in Severance, and she does such a great job. I can't be mad at her. I just love her so much as an actress. So it's interesting how you separate the acting, but then they keep trying to put their agenda or their opinions because of their acting, because they're famous, into your Twitter or into your social media. It's like, I don't care. You're just an actress. Don't care about your personal opinions.
Well, they're
What we
just
care
not
about is them
reasonable.
getting in front of the camera and
Yeah.
reciting their lines and giving a good performance on screen or on stage. That's what we
Yep.
care
Right.
about.
Well, they're not reasonable about the things, and the things that they come out of their mouth usually is like, no, that's not true, and you're just being stupid.
Well, here's another actress, Kathleen Turner. Remember when she was
Ah,
hot?
yes. Kathleen
I
Turner,
mean,
yeah.
and when I say hot, I mean career-wise, not
Right.
looking.
Mhm.
So Johnny Mayer, I was good friends with Patricia's sibling Alexis, who died in 2016. I'm so sorry.
That's that.
Oh.
Anna Moss, always the poet.
Anonymous, dude. You know what, man? Do we have to put you back in that cage and poke you with a stick?
No, I was just gonna say, with Anonymous, he gets straight to the point. He doesn't beat around the bush. He
No, he doesn't.
tells it like it is.
No, it's just I don't. Yeah.
Well, and to answer that question, most of the time we can, but sometimes these
We
actors
can,
and
yes.
actresses and writers come out and their attacks become generalized to the people that are fans and want to watch them. It's like, yeah, you can have personal opinion, but it's how you do it. It doesn't matter which side. If you're just going to call entire swath of people that you don't know about and happen to be fans because they don't agree with your what you see, yeah, it's hard to ignore the opinion because you do feel like you've been personally attacked.
Yep.
But if someone's going out there and saying, "I am going to vote," I'm a Barack Obama guy or girl. Okay, fine, no problem. Have fun, enjoy. Okay, no problem. That's your personal opinion. Oh,
right.
I think that I think we should do better to do a Stuart yours. Fine, no problem. Whatever. But it's going out there. Well, if you guys out there just hate him because he's black, like a lot of people were sitting back saying, it's like, excuse me, that's a personal assault, and that's not the case. I won't vote for a person.
I think it's I think it's
for them or against them.
yeah, Baron, I agree with you. I think it's just easier to like put it this way. Like if I have a platform and I have a job, I'll talk about my job. I'm not going to talk about the fact that my neighbor's an asshole. Like I have a platform to talk about something.
Right.
When I am being paid for it. But I'm not going to go and use that platform I can create my own job or place where I can talk about things. And it's really good when certain people do use their fame and popularity to raise issues.
Yes.
But you raise the issues, you don't preach to people.
No.
That's the difference.
And I think because I didn't mention about Patricia, but I think that's more towards you, Anna, that question.
What exactly did she say? Well, she literally was talking about having a problem with women not being portrayed on screen when she was doing her speech. I had a problem with that because that's not true. So I don't know. Is this like a real person or?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it's
that was my opinion. I love Patricia as an actress, but I just think that actors need to, if you want to advocate for things, that's great. Advocate. Go and do your own thing. Don't integrate it with your acting. Go and start your own charity, do your own thing, and like go and work on that. It has nothing to do with the characters you portray that we like or that we want to see. That's
well, I mean, let's look at
well, I was just gonna mention, I don't care if you're an actor, actress, or even an athlete in professional sports. When you're in front of that camera, again on that stage, I expect you to give a good performance, entertain us with what you're doing, whether again it's a stage play or a movie or a TV show. Just like with an athlete, you're out there on the field, then play the sport that you're playing.
Yeah, and if
you don't want to hear my politics, I don't want to hear yours.
Yeah, and if you're gonna open up your mouth about something, then be reasonable about it. But it's just when there are certain people who are not. George Takei comes to mind. There's also some professional athletes like LeBron has made a fool out of himself. Usually, I think he's gotten better lately a little bit, but still, he's just people on Sports Center and other thing. They just praise this man like he's some kind of god. Sometimes it's just pathetic. Yes, he's a great basketball player, but he's not. His personality could use some work, and I'm hoping that his son, who's will I'm sure end up going to the NBA, is going to be a lot better than him in terms of.
Well, Johnny, she did say that. She said that she saw that one recent role and she loved it, and she loves watching her in that. So it was one thing that she did it. He can do it, and she did do it, and a lot of us can. And that's just, I mean, I'll bring up Ed Begley Jr., right? Ed Begley Jr. is big into the environment and such, but
he is.
I admire
where his mouth is, right? Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I admire him for that. He actually goes out there and is doing it.
That's another really good actor too.
And he's a great actor.
A lot of range.
Great actor. And I have respect for that. I don't necessarily agree with him on all that. No.
Right.
Like you can appreciate that. And the other thing is he's not pushing it in your face and calling you names.
No.
He's like, this is what I believe. But unfortunately, Jace brings up the one person, Mark Hamill. I mean, with his blatant ad hominem attacks, it's just so many fans he's assaulted because of his political beliefs and the vitriol that comes out of his mouth, and it's not needed.
Right.
It's not needed. So yeah, we can ignore to a point. But it's like me, if I started going out there and started insulting you, would you take it from me? No. But separate me from doing the show. It's not needed. And that's the one thing we're sitting back saying on it. It's like celebrities celebrities can have their opinions and such, but it's how you tell it.
Yes.
And we always have it. Oh no, trouble in the house. Trouble in the house. Huge out. I don't want to. Can we still say roll tide? Can we still say? I know they're out of it, but roll tide. Always good to see. And and that's the fun thing about it is to our group is, politically, socially, and all that. We don't see each other. We're not on the same page on it. I mean, you have conservatives, you have liberals, you have Republicans, Democrats, you have Tories and Labor, right? So the people have all this different, political viewpoint and even sexuality. But the thing is we come together for one thing only. We love the storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great. That's where we can sit down and have these arguments and respect each other and have courtesy enough if we don't know the person, courtesy. That we can discuss this stuff without getting our hackles up or resulting to that name calling. And that's the important thing too. So to think that this is just this alt-right movement, you're wrong. Try telling that to Keith from that was just here earlier. He's no alt-righter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even care about.
So with that,
I don't know who. Okay.
I think he's addressing Mike on that one. So I'll wait until Mike comes back on that one.
I don't really much care about having lived all over the world and met so many different people from different points of view, like cultures, religions, people who like different things. I don't judge people on what they like, dislike. I judge people on their actions if they're being actually malicious on purpose. That's the only thing. So you can disagree with me however many times you want. If you're going to be rude or mean, then that's one thing. If you're actually going to like dox somebody, that's like when that's it. So
or start attacking family members who are not involved in any of this stuff, or I mean, as it goes. I mean, I do have a litmus check mark. I do have to sit back and say that when I deal with people, I do have a litmus check mark. You know what that is? Are you cool? Are you cool? That's it. That's it. I mean, are you fun to be around? And is it we don't have to agree on anything, but are you fun to be around? And that's the only litmus test I have. And it's amazing you start learning more viewpoints on stuff when you start hanging around people that don't necessarily agree 100% against you. I always find it repugnant when you start hearing these people. I never associate with those people over there. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Well, they're ifs and phobes, and have you talked to them? No, but that's what I was told, and that's what I'm agreeing. I'm going to stay within my little bubble. And then they'll tell you that they're worldly. Then they'll tell you how worldly they are.
Yeah. I never usually do things like that, but Jace is right. Mike's back, but Jace is right. Like, I don't agree on a lot of things with Jace, even though we're like super tight, super close.
Right.
There are certain things like with Rebel Moon, even though I haven't watched it, there's nobody in hell who's going to make me watch it right now. I'm going to have to like literally somebody like Clockwork Orange sellotape my eyes and make me watch it. But like he loves
Jace ideas. Don't give Jace ideas.
Yeah, Jace is praising Rebel Moon higher than Cash and I, higher than Baron and I, and higher than other people. But guess what? That's Jace's opinion of the movie.
That's right.
It meets his expectations as to what a movie should have in it.
Right.
And that's fine.
Right. I mean, I'm not I'm not a Power Rangers person, but I'm not going to shit on those people.
I'm not going to either. I like Zack Snyder. I think he's great for actually putting up with all of those assholes when he was doing Justice League.
Yeah.
So, good for him, but
Mm-hmm. Right.
it's not my thing. Like, it's not
Right.
my style. It's not my thing. And Jace knows that. And then
Mhm.
also certain, like, I love Hello Kitty.
Well,
Like,
it's like people enjoy Avatar.
Mhm.
Now,
Right.
I fell asleep, and I'll tell you what, because I've seen a movie that, in my view, is better than Avatar, and that's called Dances with Wolves.
Yes, I agree with that.
oh, that's a good film.
It's a really good movie, but yes,
Yeah.
it's the
And then-
best to see it in 3D and then never
Mhm.
watch it again. No, but yeah,
You know what?
it's really the way of water. It was like, oh wow, even the water effects, but the story itself, I just have some problems with. But the Colonel is still the best part in both those movies. He's evil. He's still devious. But the other stuff, there is some good stuff about family and friendship and so on.
Mhm.
But there's also other stuff where it's like a bunch of evil white men because you have to invade the so-called Navi, or you want to call them the Indians. I mean, there's just so many comparisons still. Like, this is like the way of water with Indians, and it's just it's crazy. But there's still some cool effects, and those movies make ridiculous money overall worldwide. It's crazy. But if you start breaking them down, it's like, yeah, there's a story here, but is it really that great? And other people are like, yeah, I love this character. I'm like, well, that character's stupid, but
Yeah.
they
Well,
like it.
yeah. I think a lot of people are enamored with it because of the effects. That's what the top thing everyone always talks about is the effects. And it's like, well, is there anything more? Well, they really can't expand a little bit more on that. It's just, it's so mind blowing. Which, like, great, you got eye candy. There's nothing wrong with eye candy. But this guy next to me, Cash, he's a brony, by the way. So don't feel bad for liking little kitty. He likes a little.
We actually know somebody in the group who used to be a brony. I can't imagine what that was like. But
I don't know either. Are you talking about Chase again?
No, I don't think Chase.
He was like Death Metal Pony. He was Death Metal Pony.
Hey, leave Jace alone. He's the best.
Oh, we love Jace. We do. We love Jace. Trust me, if he has a chance, he'd fire back at us.
Yeah.
And has. He's a great
guy.
guy.
So,
Jace is
straight.
he will.
Yeah. He's a good friend, and I love being able to talk with him.
And
I like to always tell him he's wrong about Andor, but it's fine, because he'll always bring it up. That's shit door, whatever, dude. Better Star Wars we've gotten in a while.
And see, that's a perfect example. You like Andor, Cash. Jace doesn't.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still give each other a hard time about it.
Exactly, but I respect his opinions on it. Same with Raging Rhino. When we were talking to him, I respect their opinions because of where they come from, of an EU perspective. So, and they don't go and say, even Jace will be like, you're a horrible person because you like Andor. But there's other people out there, like, they're like, I can't have you on the channel, or I can't have you talk about this because you like this, or you're a person who likes the sequels, or this. It's so stupid. And then there's the shill channels, like you guys saw yesterday, an example of that, where they're like, oh my gosh, Disney Star Wars is the greatest thing ever. Like, you're just like, ugh, give me a break.
See, I was just saying that stuff to see if he was awake still.
And you know what? We know people that enjoyed season 3 of Picard, and they know that we didn't enjoy season 3 of Picard.
Yes,
and we're not going.
Very controversial subject.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm so very sorry. You were right, Picard. Oh, yeah. Hey, we need another Crusher. Hey, that gun cost.
It's like, why can we not have a decent conversation? Why does it need to resort to, like, I didn't enjoy it, therefore you enjoyed it, therefore I put you in the corner and you're some bad person? No, like, have a conversation about it.
Right. What's the reasons why? What was it that tickled your fancy, and what was it that didn't tickle your fancy? And what you did? And that's meaningful conversation. And I mean, we joke about it, in some of the stuff when we're going, I'm sorry, because that's all Patrick Stewart seemed to be doing through the whole thing. I'm sorry. But,
yeah, well, I think you have some shit takes too there, Jace, even though we're buddies with certain things. I'm never going to like Rebel Moon as much as you, ever. Even though I still think it's a good movie.
Oh, my word, those two. I'm going to hate to be in Discord afterwards. Oh, my God, that Discord will be fire. Oh.
The jokes.
You got to love Jace.
Yeah.
I know. You got to love
Jace. Is always ready to fight, man. I love it.
He is. Do you hear what he wants to do? Do you hear, Anna? Do you know what he wants to do? When this guy gets to, I can't remember how many subscribers.
600 subscribers. This is what Jace wants to do. And I keep telling Jace no. And Jace, I mean it. No. Don't do it. You'll regret it. You'll wake up one morning and go, oh no, why did I get this?
What does he want to do?
He wants to get a tattoo on his thigh that says PACIFIC414. Don't do it. Don't do it, Jace. You'll regret it for the rest of your life.
Jace.
He said that. I think he wants to put it in the inner thigh so he can have something rub against it. Myself, but he said he would do it.
Oh man!
No, Jace, please.
No,
please.
It's
for the love of Valhalla. Come on, man.
I will make sure he does not do that. It's fine.
Thank you, Anna.
Yeah,
Thank
you'll die, go to Valhalla. Odin will see that thing and go, that's it. You're going to
No, but that's the thing about Valhalla is you keep dying, going to Valhalla and coming back, and then going to Valhalla and coming back, and so that's why you get so many tattoos all the time. He comes back.
That PACIFIC414 tattoo will send him straight to the Nibelheim. He'll be dancing with Hilda. He'll be dancing with Hilda.
Yeah. He's fine. He's not going to do it. It's okay.
I'm glad we have someone of self-control and intelligence like you to be able to help guide our young impulsive, as we like to call him, Andre from Wish.
Oh goodness.
No, we love him.
Well,
he's a good guy. Well, he calls me Tom Connors from Wish, so it's like a tit for tat.
What kind of music do you like to listen to, Anna?
Oh, there's a good question.
Oh shit. I grew up on like 80s, 70s, 60s rock. I was in a 5 bands, mostly grunge. So I played the bass guitar. Well, I started with the guitar, acoustic, and then went to like an electric Fender, and then went to bass. Played in a couple of bands, so pretty much rock. But at the same time, I like a lot of like hardcore rap stuff, like where it's not like modern day bullshit, but
where it's actually a story that they're rapping about.
But where it's actually like hardcore rap, where people are in the hood and putting this stuff out, talking about things, but also mostly rock. And yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. And
real rap. I was so like, I was gonna rap the other day, like a couple of months ago, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. Like, it's talent. You need to have the talent. It's not easy. So like, give me a bass guitar, I can do something. Give me a guitar, I'll do it. But like rapping stuff, that's difficult. It takes practice.
It does.
Do you have any particular band you like to listen to? I mean, you mentioned, 60s, 70s, 80s rock music. Is there any particular favorite groups?
I watched the latest Val Kilmer documentary on HBO, like his life. because I know
Mhm.
he had cancer, so he can't really speak. That was a really heartbreaking documentary, actually. But when he played Jim Morrison in The Doors, like The
Yeah.
Good
Doors,
movie. Yeah.
I think I was like 17 or 16 when I listened to The Doors.
Mhm.
There's just so many different things. Like for me, grunge, and I don't mean just like Nirvana, like Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, Alice in Chains, fucking Blind Melon, just so many different bands who have different styles, but also incorporate that kind of like wave of in the 90s of being so angsty and so angry about something. Like I really love that. Today, it's more just chill. Like chill out.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with
because
chilling out.
no, nothing wrong with chilling out. I mean, chilling out and listening to a
No,
good
like like
song and
Weezer, you know,
Mhm.
like chill out
Mm.
music. Like Island in the Sun, or you know, maybe Pixies. Like just
I have to
being
confess, I did like that music video Weezer did about what Buddy Holly about they were singing about Buddy
oh,
Holly, and they did
Buddy
that too.
Holly,
Yeah,
yeah.
and they did it to Arnold's in
Yes.
Happy
Happy
Days,
Days. Yeah.
and they got Al
Mhm.
they got Big Al back for it in that.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that video at least. I mean, and the song's not bad either, not bad either. But yeah, I mean, I can't say I really got into the grunge myself, as these guys know. Cash is a big grunge guy. He likes
I
going
don't.
up to. He goes up to Seattle and hangs up and smokes hash in the coffee houses all the time.
That doesn't
He
happen,
does.
but sure.
Oh, he does in
Seattle
Fullerton.
of all
Sorry,
places too.
Fullerton.
You even sound like it, Cash. You sound like Chris Novoselic. Sound exactly like him.
Is that a good thing? I don't know. I'm
Yeah, you
always
sound
these
exactly
are the
like Chris
morning.
Novoselic, the bassist from Nirvana.
Mhm.
Exactly the
Yeah,
same. Way.
I
Nirvana was
knew
cool. I
it.
grew up with Nirvana, and of course,
I knew it.
a lot of these bands, and even I took guitar lessons. So yeah, I like their first album, Godzillionaire, and then some of their other stuff not so much because Nickelback changed their style, and it was like,
Oh my god.
their first album, sure. There's other stuff, no, not so much. It's same with like Offspring. Like there's stuff I like from their first album.
Mm-hmm. You know, you were saying about
there
Val
was stuff
Kilmer.
about Limp
Sorry.
Bizkit that I liked, and then
Mhm.
there was stuff I was like, no, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
That
And Fred
name sounds
Durst, like
disgusting.
what is it? I think when my guitar teacher was still alive, rest in peace. But he had told me that I think Fred Durst actually slept with the guy's wife in the band. I guess Fred Durst was kind of a douche. I don't know. These things are just crazy, and just like Rage Against the Machine, crazy stuff too. It's like we're against the government, and then you see them in 2001 or 2002, and they're at the Democratic convention. Like,
Raging for the
Oh, they're
machine.
raging for
Yeah.
the
exactly.
But you know, the interesting thing you were talking about, like Val Kilmer, and my first experience of Val Kilmer was Top Secret, in which he did a lot of singing in there, kind of imitating the kind of the Elvis Presley, the 50s type rock and roll.
Yeah.
And then when he went on to do the being with the Doors, the band members sat back and said he sounded just like him. He worked so hard that they would
Oh yeah.
listen to him in Morrison, tracks, and they'd have a hard time figuring out who was who. And that shows a dedication to going out there and
Yeah, and that's one thing that I think like everybody should, no matter what kind of content, whether actor, journalist, whatever kind of, or podcaster or YouTuber, like if you go all in into your character being a character, because we know quite a few characters who are creators, like
Mhm.
they're doing it with not because they're trying to some of them maybe, but it comes from their actors at heart.
Mhm.
And like
Right.
I always had problems with people like that. I'm like, oh my God, this person is a clown, always acting. And then I'm like, no, that's just the way the person is. And I
Mhm.
think Val Kilmer took everything so seriously, any role that he was part of, like even in Top Gun.
Yeah.
Just the way he, because obviously Tom Cruise was kind of the star of the show, but the way he
Mhm.
leveled it out was brilliant. And he took
Mhm.
ages to actually sit there and have fun with Tom Cruise. And before that, he
Mhm.
was on stage with Sean Penn,
Yep.
Robert De Niro. Like
Mhm.
he didn't just come out of nowhere. He knew how to interact with people and that's how we are on streams as well sometimes. Like
Mhm.
some people play roles and some people are honest. And right now,
Mhm.
I'm feeling like I am just being completely myself. So, and then other streams, I need to put on some sort of like stupid ass um, comedy thing or whatever. And
Mhm.
that's normal. That's what it
Right.
is.
Mhm.
But with Val Kilmer also, um, Mike, I don't know if you're even here anymore.
I'm still here.
I'm just going to let you know that Star Trek Engaged has tried to beam me up to the ship. So,
Ooh.
yeah, I might need to go and beam up this time. But you kind of like need to with characters, with actors, just like what you like. I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
do what I like. And that's it.
Yeah, like the
Mhm.
movies you like the TV
Right.
shows you like, games,
Mhm.
books, whatever it is,
Yeah.
music. Like what you like, and if
Mhm.
someone doesn't like it, well, fine, just move on.
Right. And
Don't
when
let
it
it
comes around,
ruin your day. Don't let it dictate
Mhm.
your week, your month, your year. Just move on.
and when it comes around being YouTubers, yeah, I mean, we project different aspects of ourselves. So sometimes, like you're saying, we're out there wild, goofy, having fun. Other times, like you are right now, and like we are right now, very seriously being ourselves. Because anybody can
Mhm.
attest. I'm not like I normally am on this show because it's a different situation. It really is. You know.
It's like I've told Cash and Baron. When I have a guest on, I want the guest to be comfortable.
Mhm.
I want them to know that they're welcomed here and be themselves.
Yeah.
And
Let's-
I feel very welcomed. And I also
Cash.
welcome you too. And Cash is currently away, I guess.
Cash, quit staring at her. Quit making her uncomfortable. Cash, quit staring at her.
No, he's probably off making himself a
Oh,
sandwich somewhere.
he's doing his kale wrapped tofu again. Damn it, he got down to whole food. That's good to hear. Probably the one down in Fullerton. See, that's just it. We when it comes around to goofing off, we start having our own little folklores and fiction that we play
Mhm.
off of. But but
You got Steve starting with Beverly Hills 414 one day. That's become
what
part
the
of Pop
hell?
Talk.
Yeah, what the hell?
I really enjoyed that actually, Baron. I think you did a great job. I don't know what they're talking about.
Well, thank you very much. See, she's on my side, guys. Yeah,
We like to give each other a hard time. I
we
mean,
do. We bust each other's chops so much,
yep.
but that's just it. We're brothers, and we're
Mhm.
happy to include you in as our sister, if you don't mind. We'll adopt you.
I can
You
be
hear
a
that,
bro.
Jay? You can be a bro.
Yeah, I'll be a
You
bro.
can. She'll be a bro. Bro Force. We got a new one for Bro Force.
But that's
Yeah.
the thing. When I say welcome one and all, I mean it. Welcome one and all.
Mhm.
Just respect the house rules and don't be a douche.
Right. That leaves me out.
Me too.
Especially you.
Can I just ask something real quick?
You.
When
Sure.
Yeah, like when you go for like a bathroom break, like okay, that's fine. You say like be right back. Why do you need to say I'm back?
I just like to let them know that I'm back, just in case they want to ask me a question, or someone.
Cool, because nobody sees it apart from us.
Right. It's back. It's for us back here, so we know that. Oh, you're back now. It usually comes around the fact that Cashwell, I'm gone, and we start ragging on. Goes, I heard everything, goobers. I heard all that.
Yeah,
These goobers.
Yeah. So
that
I'm
doesn't
sorry,
happen.
I'm just trying to be mean to Cash. I'm sorry, Cash.
Trying.
Oh,
Failing.
please be me. We know
All
all
right. Trying but failing. Yes. No. Gosh. That's just for our benefit. It's okay.
Was that a good leak you had, by the way? See, that's why I got the pee jug here. That's why I never leave.
I'm so glad. Thanks, Baron. What is
That's
this,
a little
South
bit
Park
more
episode?
information than
Way too much information.
any of us need
there,
to
man.
know, Baron. Jeez, man.
Dude. Thanks, Baron.
You're welcome. See, now we're getting back to a little bit more of that goofiness now that we're coming to the end.
Yep. But
Baron, I like you. You're like my kind of vibe kind of person.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored. I do mean that. I'm not just saying that. Thank you so much. Very kind of you.
I don't know
And you're
about
very...
or Mike. They keep like BRB back. BRB.
Yeah, they get bored. They wander off. Cash especially so. He'll go BRB and
Sure.
Cash will go BRB, right? And this happens.
3 hours later.
No.
Yeah, I just got back.
Yeah, that's you, Baron. Nice try, man. Yeah.
Oh, when have I done that?
You do. You do this sometimes. Uh-huh.
Don't listen to them, man. They see how mean you're mean to me.
We have to give you compliments all the time, or you're gonna have a bad day.
Anna gave me a compliment. That's all I need.
But again, I just like to let them know in the private chat. If
Yes.
I have to get up and do something real quick, it's like if you guys are asking me a question and I don't answer, I feel it's rude not to let anybody know that I'm stepping away for a moment.
Right.
Me too.
And then,
yeah.
And plus, then I can take over in case anything because I have to control this series.
I completely get that, but like we know that you're back because you're talking.
Not always. He likes to lurk.
Yeah, not always exactly.
There are times, especially if Cash and Baron are talking about a subject, or we have an open panel and folks are talking about a subject. I don't want to just interrupt them and say, "Hey guys, I'm back." So I'll just type it in the private chat to let them know I'm back.
Yeah, because he'll come in there. Hey guys, I'm back. Yeah, who cares? We're talking here.
That's right. We're talking here. What's going on?
Oh, okay.
I just want to use common
first,
courtesy. That's all.
Yeah.
I just exactly common courtesy. First, she's like, I don't know about these two. Talked to one of them before. I'm not sure about them. And then it's like, and then we explain. Oh, okay, yeah.
That's what I wonder about these two as well. I wonder about myself as well.
I wonder about Baron. Sometimes I look at him and I says, "What did he do today? He did something bad."
You can't prove anything.
You can't look at him and say he did something bad.
Look at him. He's trying to be innocent now. Trying.
I'm so sorry, Baron, but you kind of remind me like of the Palico chef for Monster Hunter.
That's
not a bad thing. He's pretty
not a bad thing.
Cool
No.
guy. Yeah. No.
Well, thank you. I'm honored. I'm really, honestly, I'm honored. Thank you very much for your kind words there, and you're great being on here. First time I talked with you, but Chase talked about you all the time. So
I'm sure he did.
Oh, yes. He does. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he specifically told me to behave. So.
Well, he asked all of us to behave, and I said, "Rest assured, we're going to behave, Chase."
Well, the funniest thing, and I say this, is like basically all the females that we've had on the panel have behaved themselves, but the males, some of them, not so much.
Especially Chase.
Especially Chase.
I think you've all been wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good conversation.
We try to keep it real. Is
Yes.
that do the kids say that still today? I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I'm old.
so.
I'm old.
Yep.
So I say all this old
You
stuff,
went
yeah.
to the college the other day. You had your skateboard on the back. You're like, "How you doing,
Eh.
kids?"
Hey, my fellow students, what's hippin'?
Okay, Steve Buscemi.
Hey, well, I almost got his part in Big Lebowski. You saw that?
They wouldn't even know what that is today. Good
No.
lord.
No, they wouldn't.
Oh.
That's a shame. That is
It
absolutely
is.
a shame. I mean, as it goes, I mean, honestly, you bring up, calling me Steve Buscemi, right? You actually had to do it, but I have absolute proof that there I am with John Goodman. As you can see, there I am, and I tried out for that part. But Steve Buscemi, I guess he kicked ass in a card game with the Coen brothers, and one of the they couldn't pay the whole thing off, so he said, "Well, put me in your movie." He said, "No, we got this guy, this Baron. He's great. He works great with John Goodman. No, you got to go in there." And the Coen brothers came by and said, "Hey, listen, we think you're great, but Steve Buscemi, So I hate him. I hate him. Steve Buscemi and I.
It's not Steve Buscemi even.
No,
it's
me.
Baron Buscemi.
Baron Buscemi. Yeah, that's me. That's me with
Oh my god. Sorry, I completely
Yeah. It's a trip for sure. Yes.
Yeah. You never know what you're going to get on this show. We did a bunch of would you call it deep fakes? But
yes,
where we put each other's faces on various.
Oh yeah, I've done that too.
Yeah, so we did.
Like,
and it's fun, I mean, again, it's we're just going out having fun, and that's our big important thing. I mean, I don't know, I had my when I was going around in Hollywood, there was a pick I'd give out to all the people at the studios to get a part. It was kind of hard to get one. I don't know what.
Oh no, not again, dude.
Oh.
No.
Oh boy, Baron.
He's just too much sometimes. Too much.
I'm the clown. I'm the clown. Someone has to be. That's a great picture you have there on your avatar.
It really is.
I gotta send a bunch to Jace. I did a bunch up for Jace, and I need to send them off to him.
But Anna, if you need to go, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the table, promote yourself, or promote anyone you wish to promote. And
okay, so it's really difficult for me to remember the difference in like CST, PST, EST right now. So I need to get better at doing that. But right now, in literally 16 minutes, Star Trek Engage on Legion News, Ryan, Samuel the Infamous, everybody's simulcasting. So go check that out. I will post it on my channel, my Twitter.
And that's about 3:00 Central Time, just to help you out there, Anna. 3:00 Central Time.
Thank you.
3:20 Central Time.
So it would be it would be in 15 minutes.
Oh, 15?
So,
okay.
Yeah, it's really confusing. So 9:15 GMT for me. Then tomorrow 11 p.m. GMT again, Greenwich Mean Time, show with Clifton, anime, that anime guy, with Brandon and Ronan66. Talking about pop culture. Then on Thursday, I'm so sorry. Like my brain is trying to computer all the different times. Then Thursday, every Thursday we have 9 p.m. GMT with Ryan, Roger, Arthur, Kenzo UK, some other people as well, Mephisto, and guests talking about culture too. Then on Friday, which is going to be insane, a watch along party reviewing Tombstone, the film
Ooh.
with Kurt Russell.
That's a great movie.
Great movie.
Yeah.
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
That is great.
It's one of my favorites, which is why I invited a whole bunch of people. But I'm going to do it like a revolving thing every Friday, like talking about different westerns. So, and then again on probably Saturday, doing a review of Never Ending Story. I'm so sorry. It sounded like I was doing one of those Oscar speeches where it never ends. But yes, that's what I'm doing.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I am getting everybody's links out there so folks can go and subscribe to all those great channels.
Yes, please do. And follow Anna. She's a great girl. Lady. Or whatever you want. Bro.
No,
And,
and thank you so much for having me here. I had a lot of fun.
I want to thank you for taking time out of your Sunday evening and joining us.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
And tell that crazy Welshman Ryan Athe that yeah, I'm still looking for him.
I will.
And Barrett, go ahead and promote what's coming up next on Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy.
Saturday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time on Fandom Legacy. I did say Saturday, right? Quick. We're going to have our discussion on Babylon 5 Season 4, Part 2. So we're going to continue that on with the guy above me here, Mike, and the other guy next to me here, Cashmoney, along with Lord Crit of Everest Production, and of course, everyone's favorite troll, Phil McCracken. So please be there and join me. And of course, I hang out with these guys occasionally throughout the week, so you know how it is.
And Cash, what do you have coming up on the Phantom Hooligans?
I've got gonna start Dishonored because I've already finished Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. If I end up watching The Beekeeper next week and stuff, I'll probably do a panel for that with a few people. And then, of course, on Friday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, me, Baron, and Mike are going to play Ghostbusters. So that should be fun. And then, But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Dishonored. I have a lot of games. When people aren't available for other things, it's like it's just good for me to do gaming channels and talk about stuff and play the game. So I want to finish a lot of stuff, but Dishonored's the next one. I had a lot of fun with Ratchet and Clank, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that on the Phantom Hooligans. Phantom Space Hooligans, yeah, because Phantom Hooligans, there's a channel that existed 8 years ago that doesn't exist anymore, but so I had to put the space in there when we made the channel.
Yeah. Very nice, Cash. And as far as what's coming up on PACIFIC414 for YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and Rumble, well, I haven't scheduled anything for the Twitch side or Kick side this week, but on the Rumble and YouTube side for this week, I will be playing more Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I want to try to get it done tomorrow night, but we'll see. If I don't get it done tomorrow night, then Tuesday will be another stream of Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern, both tomorrow and Tuesday. And then, of course, Wednesday, Baron, Cash, and I will be back for the Wednesday edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. And then there's nothing scheduled Thursday or Friday. However, Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern will be a member stream here on the channel for all members of Stealth is Optional, which is the only membership level I have on this channel because I couldn't think of anything else at the time. And
I'm sorry.
no, that's all right. That's all right. No offense taken. But it'll be open for all members, and if you're not a member, consider becoming one for $4.99 a month. You too can be on the member stream.
No, you should have called it
And-
like that's your opinion, man. Level.
Well, who's to say I wasn't thinking about creating another level?
Ooh.
Who's to say? But that's it for Pacific 414. But Anna, I do want to thank you very much for taking time out of your Sunday to join us. It was a wonderful conversation. I would love to have you back again sometime soon. And
Thank you,
Put up with our
everybody.
shenanigans.
And
Welcome.
thank you, chat.
yes,
Yeah, we got a great chat. Thank you.
speaking
for
of
coming out.
the great chat, I want to say thank you to Johnny Mayer for stopping by. I also want to say thank you to the rich kaiju himself, Godzillionaire. And of course, Killy Chow, Roll Tide, Killy Chow, Roll Tide. We
Roll
had
Tide.
Clifton 3D. Good to see you, Clifton. And also, Kathy Skywalker. Good to see you, Kathy. I hope you heal up quick.
Yeah.
And of course, he's one half of Pop Culture Minefield, Keith Movie Geek. Good to see you, Keith.
The coolest black man in Springfield. That's what
And
Gary
we
calls
also-
him.
And we also had Pop Culture Mechanic. Good to see you, Pop. And of course, Anonymous. Do, 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 do.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Anonymous. Do, 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 do.
Do-do-do-do.
We also had Real Wade Gaming Clips. Good to see you, Wade. Padawannabe was here. Good to see you, Padawannabe. Turtle Boy himself, DJ Ronnie G. Nerd.
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 Nerdle.
We also had Phil McCracken. Crazy
yeah.
Phil McCracken.
Crazy Phil, yeah. Mhm.
And it was good to see Jack.
Yeah, he's kind of like my dad.
And of
No.
course, our
Really.
lovely guest, Anna.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Welcome.
God, I
And-
really need to go and beam
Okay,
up.
okay. You take care. Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Yeah, thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you so much. Love you too. Thanks for being a great guest.
Appreciate it. But everybody's favorite penguin besides Punk Waddle, Little Spec Linux Laptop, who was also over on the Rumble side. So thank you very much, Little Spec. And our favorite Norwegian, Jason Fox of 540 Studio. Thank you, Jace. And of course, the head writer extraordinaire of Beverly Hills 414, Big Daddy T-Gap.
It's a
That's
TK.
right.
Sad indeed.
I don't know
Yeah,
who
let
any
me
of those
see.
people are.
And I just want to thank everybody for taking time out of your Sunday to tune into this edition of Pop Talk. Really
You're fired
enjoyed it.
too, Anonymous. Yeah, justice for Anonymous. Look at this guy. Better start making those shirts, man. Making those shirts.
Please subscribe to our guest. And please make sure you subscribe to Baron Orman Tagge's Fandom Legacy and also the Fandom Hooligans and everyone who is in the chat. Because without you, we can't do this. Without your support, we can't do this. We love you all. And remember two things here on Pacific 414. One, don't give up on me in a game, because just when you do, you might miss something. And two, because the content's on Rumble and YouTube, I'm not just a baseball guy, I'm an all-around guy. Take care, all.
Autobots, transform and roll out.
You have to find the button again, huh? I do it.
Pop Talk is where it's at, baby.
And remember, this is a listener-supported station, so please think about having a legacy donation added into your will, and course, make sure you donate generously to keep these programs like this alive on YouTube.